Okay. Let's do this Q&A. I'm tired of looking at it. Okay. Hello everyone, it's me, Jordan Comox, as some of you may, pronounce my last name, here with Stuart Briant. Some of you may pronounce his last name. We're doing this Q&A here, the Q&A podcast, and if you guys like it, we'll do more. We lost a whole hour and a half of recording, so now we gotta go back and redo it. So we're gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible. Stu, how about you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Stuart. I do the voice of Stu-Boy. I did it on season 1 and season 2, but I didn't help at season 2, but I worked on season 1 a bit.
Yeah, you did background in season 1.
Yeah.
I'm Jordan. You all know me.
He animates everything, and the voice is Piv-Boy.
Okay. Question 1 from Combo Ressery. How long do you think the flash holes will last? And how big do you imagine it being? Flash Holes is a group of animators that I sort of created. I was a admin in this group on Facebook, and I kind of took over. And we do these monthly animation challenges. We're on our second month, and it's mostly just to motivate animators to, do something, because there's a lot of animators out there that just call themselves animators but don't get anything done. And that's basically what this is for.
Like me.
Yeah. How long do I think it'll last? I don't know. It depends on how big it gets. And how big do I imagine it getting? Not big. Okay, question 2 from Cameron Glynn. Hey, Pivs, why is your hair so sexy? It's not. This one's for Stu from Rishton Ribolos. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong, by the way. Our penis is the answer to everything.
Not entirely.
Yeah, not entirely.
I mean, they solve a lot, but it's not... They don't solve everything.
Yeah, that's true. This next one...
It's good to have one, though.
Yeah, it is. This next one's from Steve Dorian. Stu-Boy, Jesus allegory?
No?
No? Okay. Alright, this next one's from Eddie Fisher. What's a Q&A podcast? It's exactly what we're doing right now.
It's a question and answer podcast. You ask us questions, and then we record ourselves for like 3 hours answering your stupid questions. Stupid.
This next one's from Willie Abiel. In the event that you were presented with the ability to, what would you find yourself doing with that ability? Stu?
Jerking off.
Yeah, I probably would too. I mean, I can right now, but like, the ability to? Oh, it sounds perfect.
The ability to just do it whenever, wherever, and everyone would just act like it's normal.
Yeah.
It's like when you sneeze in public, they kind of look over it for like a second.
Bless
and
you.
Like, whatever. Yeah.
This next one is from...
No. You're just jerking off, and you come on the floor, and they're like, bless you.
Oh, bless you. You need a tissue? Yeah, please. This next one's from No Stylin'. Senpai is love, but will you cheat on us? Depends on like how you treat me, I guess.
Do you have a younger sister? Because if so, then yes.
This next one's from Ethan G. This one's for me. Why are you so the pivot? Because I got lots of joints in my body. They like to pivot at 90-degree angles. This next one is from
Wait a minute, I got that.
Did you just get it?
I'm talking about your dick.
What? No, I'm not.
Oh, what?
I'm talking about like my knees and my elbows.
Oh.
Oh, okay. This next one's from Ivan Almighty. Any plans on pursuing art as a career? It would depend, I guess, on what type of job I go into. If I do, like, if it's an animator, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, why not?
How do you sum this up?
I don't. Oh.
Not really. YouTube is bad these days for animators, so it's more of a hobby, really. Yeah. It's easier to just do it on the side.
This next one is from Whitey the Animator. What do you do on your spare time? When I'm not animating, I either sleep, eat, or watch movies.
Jerking off.
That seems like a good thing to do on your spare time. Oh, do you need any tissues, Stu?
No, I got a new box recently.
Oh, okay. Bless you, by the way, when the time comes.
Thank you.
This one's from Taylor Tutel. Any animation tips for those just starting? And what do you do to warm up? My biggest animation tip is it feels weird re-recording this.
Don't you do mine. Don't you do mine.
Oh, I'm not going
to do it.
No, I completely forgot what yours was. Mine is to just do it. Just go forth, animate. You won't get anywhere unless like you actually do it. Like if you learn about it and then like just lay it off, then you're not gonna learn anything. Like the best learning experience is to actually do it. So like,
well, you said before, if you start a project.
Yeah, if you start a project and don't
make other ones,
it sucks.
Yeah, don't make other ones. Just finish the project you started once, and then once you're done with that, then you can move on. Yeah, because that's a killer. It's like you get too much on your plate, and you get a bit overwhelmed and don't really know what to work on.
And what I do to warm up, I don't. I don't warm up. I just go into it.
The best thing I think I could tell an animator that's starting out is to learn the program you're using. Like really just pick a program. Like I learned Flash, but I'm moving to Kakani pretty soon, which is a new program made by like film students or whatever, college, early people. But it does your in-betweens for you. It computer generates your in-betweens, which is really nice. And I'm more of an illustrator than I am an animator. So like for me, that allows me to make the show that I want to make. So I'm moving to Kakani, but like I still learned Flash really well over the past couple years that I've been using it. So to increase your productivity, just learn your program. It is really important to learn how to animate very well and to really craft your style and how you like to approach animation. But it's also really important to learn the program so that you can be a lot faster. There might be a trick that you learn to do something that would have taken you 3 hours before that can take you like 5 minutes. Yeah. Once you learn the program. So I think picking a program to work with, Flash, Toon Boom, Kakani, whatever you choose, it's just really important that you learn the program before you really get too deep into it. Yeah. Because it just helps a lot.
And what do you do to warm up? You said facial expressions, right?
Yeah. I love drawing faces. Usually, if you have I think if you kind of step away from it for a couple days and then come back, it usually helps. But if you have to keep working on it every day, if I work on it every single day, I usually draw from like a mid-chest, kind of like shoulder up, and just kind of draw people, draw faces, draw different characters I like, different things, just like random characters. If you're working on a show like Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, drawing like character designs for characters is really easy because you really only need to capture the head, because their faces are individual, but really you could just fill in the blanks with really like natural human clothing from that point on. So I think warming up drawing people is really interesting, or taking drawing little shapes and putting faces on it and stuff like that, and just kind of getting it down, because what I've learned is that I have a hard time moving my wrist around whenever I draw. It's more of an arm thing. I have like bad wrists, so not bad wrists, but I have too much. I have very locked up wrists, so when I draw, I have a hard time kind of loosening up my wrists. So kind of drawing shapes and stuff like that really helps to kind of loosen up a bit before drawing. I think that to me that helps, like drawing kind of shoulder up and just shapes generally.
For the listeners, if anyone is even listening, Stu has lock wrist. It's like lockjaw, but on your wrists. It's really bad. He has to go to surgery at least once a month to help relieve some pressure.
Shut up, Jordan.
Sorry.
Shut up. Oh, I don't.
This next one is from Tony Padilla. Do you see yourself doing 3D animation professionally if the flow of life gives you that opportunity? I would. I mean, my dream is to pretty much become a professional animator, which is probably every animator's dream, except for Stu. But
I just want to make one show and then die. I'd be happy with that. If I died at 30 years old, I'd be fine.
If I'm fluent in 3D animation and I get an opportunity, then I'd probably take it.
I tried to learn 3D for a good week. My problem with 3D animation is, I don't know. I don't like it as much. I think 2D is a lot more timeless. You go back and watch an old Disney movie, it still looks just as good as it did back then today.
Yeah.
It's like playing an 8-bit game, It kind of has that traditional simplicity to it a lot of the time that is kind of timeless. 3D, if you go back and watch the movie like Robots or Star Wars Episode 1, the 3D just, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
And I think 2D will hold up forever as long as it's good.
Yeah.
That's about it.
The next question is from Ethan Bell. Pikachu or Ling Ling? No.
Neither.
No.
I don't care.
I don't know what both of those are.
I don't care.
This next one is from Angel X Mikey. Dick pics? Look in the mirror. This next one's from Ethan Bell again. Traditional or digital animation? We actually went into a long talk on the original recording.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try and we're getting through these questions like crazy now.
Yeah, we'll sum it up really quickly. 2D animation has its things about it that makes it good, but digital has a lot of fixes that you can do a lot easier. Like you can fix a scene if you want to a lot quicker. I think it's faster to get quality stuff out. Onion skin is really nice. There's little things here and there that kind of make digital a bit better, but you can tell, like Jordan said, you can tell when something's made originally than how it's made in a digital way. There's just something about it that looks very different.
Yeah, with traditional, you can see, depending on the way it was animated and colored, you can see, paper textures, the scratchy lines. The Aristocrats, they didn't clean it up, they just colored the sketches.
Oh my god, are you serious?
They did that with 101 Dalmatians, and you can see that clearly.
Yeah.
But, with digital animation, you don't get that. And I really like the sketchy feel. I like being able to tell. I like being able to see the paper texture if I look close enough.
Yeah.
That's my aesthetic.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too. I watched Heavy Metal recently, and Heavy Metal has that, old paper look, because it was... But yeah, it's interesting because you can kind of capture that with Photoshop. If you animate in Photoshop and export it and then put it all together in After Effects.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You can kind of get that same look, but there is something very distinctive about traditional work that makes it stand out a bit more visually. Because Flash, it's just a black line unless you go over every single black line or put something in a masking layer and then put a grainy thing over it, and it's too much work to give it that look. Yeah.
But if I had to choose, if I was working, I would choose digital. But if I was watching a movie, I would choose traditional.
Yeah, it just really depends on your work methods, really.
Yeah.
What you prefer and how you like when things come out. How you like them to look.
These next two are from Tony Padilla again. What are the strengths and weaknesses of 2D versus 3D animation? What did I say about that? Weakness for 2D is time, because
absolutely.
The second Disney movie that came out, I think it was Sleeping Beauty, came out 10 years after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But they started the exact same time. They started working on it at the same time. And Sleeping Beauty just took so long. Oh my god. But a good strength for 2D is that, I guess it feels more natural, I guess.
Yeah.
And a strength for 3D is, I guess, speed! It's basically the exact opposite of 2D. A strength for 3D is how quickly you can make an animation. And then like a weakness is just my weakness for 3D is that it's taking over absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And like I hate seeing 2D animation die out, but like I like 3D, nothing's wrong with it. It's just taking over and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just something about it.
Like
3D.
there are a few animators on Newgrounds who are doing 3D now, and it's kind of upsetting. Well, not like I don't mind, but like I feel like more and more are going to show up, and they're most likely will be more.
One of the things about 3D that bothers me is Element Animation. It's a guy who makes Minecraft like cartoons, whatever. He's a really good artist though. And he released a storyboard for one of the cartoons he did. And if you look at his storyboard, he has like a very original art style. And I would love to see him, draw more and animate. But he doesn't. He does 3D work. And there's something about 3D. It just all blends together.
Yeah.
It all looks the same. I don't know what it is. Like 2D, you really get to see the distinctive differences in how people work. Somebody may not draw the top of a head the same way that somebody else does. They drew that thing just a little bit differently. How an eyebrow kind of curves in or something like that. And you get to really see that. Mm-hmm. With 3D, everything is rigged, basically the same way. And it all just kind of ends up looking generally the same to me, I think.
Yeah. The next one is from Tony Padilla again. Does traditional animation have a purpose anymore?
Quality,
yeah.
I think it just looks better.
It looks better, but like it's not needed anymore. Like now that we have digital, we can do 2D.
I think Paperman did a really good job of mixing the two of them.
Oh yeah, Paperman was alright. I watched a behind the scenes thing and like it's all 3D except for like their hair. Like they draw over the hair.
Yeah, they draw like an outline and then they do like sketchy stuff over the hair. But their vector tracking thing is really cool.
Oh yeah, I really liked how Paperman turned out.
Yeah, drew a little thing on his hand and he threw it and it kind of stuck with his hand and it's like whoa. But yeah, they have I don't know, 2D. It has its purpose. It's there for the people who really want to approach it. It's something that takes a lot longer, but in the end, I think is generally more beloved than 3D. Nobody's gonna walk up to you and say, "Yo, dog, we got to go watch iRobot," or Robots by Disney, or Cars 1. You're gonna go watch movies like, which I think it had a bit of like, old CG work, but like, they're gonna say, watch Fifth Element, or the original Matrix and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Matrix had 3D. But my point
here and there.
But the point still stands. Like, you're gonna go watch the movies that feel more practical. Matrix was a bad example, but it's there.
The new Mad Max. Mad Max Fury Road. Oh my God,
the new Mad Max is so awesome.
I haven't seen it yet, so please don't
I won't say anything other than there's more practical in that movie than you would expect.
Yeah, and I know. I've been looking at a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that to me, that counts. That does a lot, because not a lot of people try to do a physical approach to things anymore, and that really sucks. They just remade Poltergeist, and it's the exact same movie, but instead of practical effects, they use CG, and it's retarded. Yeah. It looks so bad compared to the original, and it's the exact same movie, like almost to a T. It's outrageous. It looks terrible, and what sucks is that like that's the version people are going to see now, Yeah. And that sucks because now they'll never know how good it looked when it was practical. They'll just see the crap CG version, which, by the way, the acting in the new version is abysmal.
It's absolutely abysmal,
dude. It's so bad. It's such like, I hate to use the term, but it's such a face palm through the whole movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
You just see it compared to, like, if you go see the new Poltergeist, if you and Kelsey want to go see it, watch the first one and then watch the new one.
Oh yeah, I've watched the first one plenty of times.
Yeah, just so you can see how bad they ruined it. Like it's so bad.
All right, moving on. The next one is from Angel X Mikey. How far do you plan to take Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, and is there a secret plot that we don't know about? Season 1 had a secret plot that no one knew about. We couldn't tell it because we lost the finale to Season 1. So that idea was scrapped. Yeah. Season 2 has a plot. and the finale kind of ties season 1 together with season 2 in a way.
I think season 2 more or less wraps itself up more than it does connect it to season 1.
Yeah, like the finale.
Yeah.
Of season 2 kind of explains a few things from season 1 that never got answered. Like Caseboy, where did he come from?
Well, the first idea that I threw out when we were talking about storylines for season 1 was that Stu-Boy died
Oh yeah,
in a car accident.
I was telling Creed about this.
Yeah, Stu-Boy died in like a car accident. It was supposed to be like a Twilight Zone episode where Stu-Boy died 10 years ago, and the reason why Stu-Boy existed but always kind of seemed very out of place was because that Stu-Boy was like an apparition of Piv-Boy's imagination due to his his just intense regret of the situation, not being able to save Stu-Boy from his death. And he became just like a figment of his imagination, which got cut really early on because it seemed too like Twilight Zone-y.
Yeah, I liked it though. I mean, we wanted to end the show on a more serious note.
Yeah,
which I have no problem with.
We didn't do with season 1 because it felt a bit weird, but you took a more serious approach to season 2 though.
Yeah. How far do I plan to take it? This is as far as it's most likely going to go, but I've found ways to make a season 3, but I don't think I'm going to. At least not now, not for a long time.
Yeah, maybe later in the future. You might approach it again. But
then this next one is from Moms Against Pivs on Twitter. Why are you a terrible person, Stu? Stu?
Wait, Stu?
No, they're asking me.
Oh, why are you a terrible person? Don't you have better things to do with your life other than complain about one particular animator on the internet who's just mildly a racist from Louisiana?
Oh, thanks. I'm not racist.
You're not racist. I'm just saying. If you're a mother and you're petitioning against Jordan, don't you have something better to do? Like take care of your children?
Go breastfeed or something. In public. And then make a big deal about it.
Oh my god, I hate that people make a big deal about that. Oh god, it's so stupid.
It is stupid. This next one is from Jose Luis Rivas, and I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Do you think YouTube animators can still thrive on YouTube and be successful? We kind of answered this, did we? Or was that in the original recording? Basically, no.
Yeah, man, the algorithm it's not there.
It screwed everything up.
It's better to take YouTube animation as like a hobby now and not as a sense of profession. Back in 2010, maybe you could have made a living off of it, but now there's just no way. It's more of it really is now a hobby more than it was before. Before it turned from like hobby into job, now it is just very much a hobby.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to be an animator on YouTube, make things that you're interested in so that you can have a conversation. Like now more than ever, I think YouTube is more about the interaction with people who are interested in the same things you are and the conversation with fans more than it is making money. It is a hobby that you can turn into a really interesting conversation with people who are interested in the same things you are more than it is, a hobby that turns into making money. I think it's just a way for you to connect with people who are interested in the same things you are. To repeat myself like 4 times in a row.
This next question is from The Who Comics on Twitter. That's The Who _comics. Okay. What got you into animation?
Answer.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
If you know the movie, I'm sorry. If you don't know the movie, don't look it up. The movie that got me into animation was Freddy Got Fingered, because it's a movie about a guy who moves to Hollywood to become an animator.
Does he get fingered?
No, that's his brother. But
I've never seen the movie.
The name is just
the name is just outrageously hilarious to me. Why should I not see this movie for anybody who may be wondering why they shouldn't?
Oh god, it's probably one of the worst movies ever made. Like take The Room, but make it good. Whoa. And like The Room is good because it's bad. But if you make a bad movie, where am I even going with this? I can tell you this, he jacks
so
off a
bad
horse.
that it's just bad.
He jacks off a horse within the first 10 minutes of the movie. There's that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm also gonna say this part. He finds roadkill. He takes the skin of the roadkill, puts it around him, and he's like, "I'm a deer!" And then he gets hit by a truck and survives. Sorry about that, everyone. Stu's computer stopped recording because it's a big doo-doo head.
Well, we didn't even ask any questions, so we could just go into the next question.
Okay, this next one is from Moha Tunes. Will you ever make a competition, like an animation competition on your channel? No, but I do have flash holes.
No.
Stu, no, okay.
No.
Next one from Ivan Almighty. How long did it take for you to get to this point in your animation know-how?
Sorry, just on the other question. Somebody did a I think it was either Jacksomoto or somebody else like that. They tried to get like an old Newgrounds collab together. It was a Banjo-Kazooie collab, like how they used to do like Transformers.
Oh yeah,
collabs.
that was Jaxie.
Yeah, I think it didn't do anything. I don't think it went anywhere. So that is a continued no. I won't do it. No one should do old Newgrounds collabs because that community just isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
people got too focused on the quality of their animation and they take too long now. You know, classic animators take really long to do a lot of stuff now. So yeah. I don't think unless you're getting a lot of early starting animators who are still trying to, like, you know, figure out what they want to do and haven't really found that quality yet but can work quickly, I don't think it's worth it because it'll take 6 months and people will just get discouraged and just quit. Yeah. Again, I don't think that collab went anywhere. Like, I was interested to see what they were doing, what they would do with it, and I hope that maybe Jaxie will still make the Banjo, like, cartoon, but because she was mentioning she wanted to make a Banjo cartoon, and I guess she had the idea to make it into like an old Newgrounds collab, but oops, I guess that just didn't happen, you know.
Oops.
Oops. Oopsie.
This next one is from Ivan Almighty. How long did it take you to get to this point in your animation know-how? It took me about 3 or 4 years. Once Stu and Piv Season 1 happened, that's when I started getting more comfortable about the whole situation.
Yeah, I'm about the same. We kind of really started, like, grinding down on learning a lot at the same time, because it was like, I started around the time that Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 1 started up. So, yeah, 3 or 4 years that I really got started into it.
This next one's from the same guy, Ivan Almighty. Would you ever have Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy air on a TV network? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. It'd be nice to see it on the big screen.
If somebody wanted it, you know, I would probably come in. If anybody wanted it, yeah, why not? Just gotta get the people who want it, and we would probably come on and do something with it.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is keeping the cast together. I know Casey doesn't like working on it, but we had to switch out Casey's voice actor who did Case Boy in Season 1. We're still friends with him. It's just that he didn't want to voice it anymore because he felt like it was kind of awkward. But
his microphone wasn't the best, and he wanted, like, Season 2 to be better than Season 1.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me. Plus, he's in the middle of college.
Yeah. Well, I think if we got picked up by TV, I would like to have the original cast back together.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that always... my most hated thing, my number one most hated thing with any show, or specifically, like, cartoons and shows, like 3D shows like that, is when they change a voice actor. I hate it. If you establish a character, license them in a contract for life until that series is over. You know? Do not let them leave. I hate when a voice actor gets changed. It kills the flow of the show. You know?
Excuse me.
Oh, my God.
What?
Oh my God, it's huge! Oh my God, that's the biggest poster ever!
Oh, alright.
My brother just went and bought big poster frames, and he brought the poster frames in. He has a huge print of the original Transformers movie cover from 1986.
Oh my God.
And it's awesome, it's so big. Okay.
You gotta send me a picture.
I will send you a picture. Can I take a picture on my phone right now?
I don't know.
My phone's not dead yet. I will send you a picture.
Okay.
Put your hand next to it, Spencer. Yeah, ask the next question.
This one's from Rishchan Ribolos, and sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. Thoughts on growing your brand /name? getting your name out there is the biggest thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Where do I put it? You should rather...
I'll help you hang it later on. I'm still doing a podcast with Jordan, so I'll work with you later on it. But again, show you. Here, take that one too. Light, please, and door. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, bye.
Hello. I'm recording the podcast with Stu.
Oh, no.
So long. Make sure you close the door.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, there's the picture.
Anyway.
Oh, holy crap, that's huge.
It's really big. So I think the best way to get your name out there is to collab with people. If you have a friend who's an artist or someone who's put a bit of animation out there, and both of you are trying to start up work together, I don't have
That's
my own.
pretty much what you and I did.
Yeah, I don't have my own. I have my own channel, but I don't have anything up on it. But if I did, I don't want to speak for you, but if I did, I'm sure that Jordan would probably plug it if he really wanted to. But I haven't released anything, so there's not really a use to plug it because nothing's coming out. But just help each other out. Work together, collab on projects, so that both of you will get noticed. There's no Rhett without Link. There's no Oni without Zach, kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So
there's no Stu-Boy without Piv-Boy.
That is true. It would be Piv-Boy sits on the couch and watches TV with Bibu while she eats a sandwich and does really terrible jokes about looking into the camera and crap music plays. So,
thanks.
You're welcome.
Next question.
Yeah?
Which part of making a cartoon is your favorite? From Aaron Scalfo.
You go first.
My favorite part is audio mixing and doing the storyboard, because I like seeing it all come together.
Yeah. My favorite part is doing the lip sync, animating faces, because that's where you can kind of put the most expression into your characters.
Yeah. This one's from Felipe Velarda. Like I said, sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Tervorda. Do you have an 8-hour job besides animation, or just freelance? And tips on how to manage to survive in this cruel world. No, I do not. I do sort of have a job, but most of my income comes from animating, and it's not much.
Yeah.
And tips would... I don't even know what to say. I mean, I do my own thing. I constantly work. I don't know how to help, honestly.
I think the best way to do it is, like, even if you go to film school... Oh, sorry, I put the mic away from me. Even if you go to film school, you're probably going to have a hard time getting, film, quote-unquote, film-esque jobs. Even when you graduate, that's really niche nowadays. I think film should be a hobby. Even if you go to school for it, I think you should have a normal, quote-unquote, normal job and focus on, because animation still is a job, yada yada, that's a whole argument in itself. But I think you should focus on animation as a hobby and kind of hone your craft, and if you get picked up along the way, that's just, something else. That then you can really progress. But I think having, a job at Subway or something, just working menial task job, but doing what you love on the side, and kind of honing how good you really are at that could help out. Because if you like something as a hobby, you're only going to get better at it the longer that you go. If you have something as a job, you have the potential of getting really tired of working on it because you're forced to like it instead of you liking it out of just liking it. So it kind of turns into, I think it should be a hobby. And if you get picked up, whether you're an animator or, a film enthusiast guy trying to make short films, whether or not you get picked up is just kind of a thing. But if you do it out of your love for learning it and doing it to begin with, I think people will see that love and probably be interested in what you're making to begin with, instead of being paid to do it. Like, how much do you think any guy who works the camera on a sitcom wants to kill himself? Like, just look at the camera work in those shows. It's filth. It's shaky garbage filth. And it's terrible. I doubt that those guys really want to do film, or even want to be there to begin with, but it's a job. So if you get picked up doing weird artsy-fartsy stuff because you do weird artsy-fartsy stuff online, or, you know, as a hobby, then you got picked up doing a thing that you love, instead of being paid to do a thing that you're mildly interested in but hate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. This next one is from Takiri Jim.
Ooh.
Ew.
Ooh.
Are you related to Walt Disney in any way? Because you're a genius in animation. No.
Here's what I have to say about that. There you go. There's that.
This next one's from Kyle Harner. What's the worst web series on the internet, and why is it Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy? We came up with Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy after watching this series called Space Buds by the Retro Zombie on YouTube. Look them up. Don't subscribe. It was terrible. But yeah, Space Buds, we liked the idea of it, so we took it and we scrapped 2 of the characters.
Yeah.
And put them on Earth instead of space.
But other than that, it's just complicated.
It's canceled. That joke never gets old.
Never ignore the opportunity to name drop. It's complicated.
Steve Dorian says, "Can I have a job that pays anything other than Monopoly money?" No, Steve.
No. Not really.
Okay. Here's the one whose name I didn't know, and whose name I'm probably going to pronounce terribly wrong. Bagel the Otaku. Do you potato, and if so, how many potato? Yes, 3.
How many?
How many? I chose 3.
How many?
How many? That's your answer? How many?
How many?
Okay. These
How many?
These next 4 are from Twisted Zephyr.
Oh.
30 through 33.
Ooh la la.
How long does it take for you to get an animation done? It depends on the animation. Like I said in the original recording that we fucking lost. Season 2, episode 1 took me 2 days to make.
Yeah.
2 days. But the ghost episode in season 2, that's episode 4, took me 3 or 4 months. And I don't know why.
It's
honestly
just
have no
determination. Because when Jordan was working on season 1, it took him like a day to make the first episode. You know.
Yeah.
So
I made the first episode really quickly.
It really just it's kind of like determination with Jordan, really, because he's a madman. He works way too quickly for his own good.
Yeah.
So it really just depends, especially with even more depends on the work. Because if he's working on commissions, the hardest thing is you'll do a thing and you're like, oh man, I'm really proud of this, and then you send it to him and they're like, I don't like how he raises his hand in scene 2, and it's like, or I don't like how he blinked when he moved towards the camera, and it's like,
yeah.
And then there's another month of things you have to go back and fix, or scenes you have to completely reanimate because they didn't like how it was shot.
Yeah. The next one from Twisted Zephyr again is, what has been the hardest thing you've had to animate? Like Stu said, pretty much any commission I get.
Yeah.
Because I'm animating something that someone else wants. It's not what I want, it's what other people want. And finishing it and then sending it to them and then having them make a bunch of changes is the hardest part of a commission.
Yeah. Because even though you think, you know that this particular way of shooting it works well, then, they'll be like, but I want that changed. I don't know. And then you're like, oh, all right. And then you go change it, and they're like, I still don't like it. And
Pretty much.
And then you reply. Then you reply with, well, how about you animate it? And they're like, well, I can't. And it's like, well, then how about you just deal with what I did because I know how this should work? And they're like, but I'm paying you. And it's like, oh, well. Then you can't really argue with that.
Pretty much every commissioner I've gotten, they've made me redo a whole bunch.
Yeah. Commissions, freedom with commissions is a thing that I think people don't value as much as they should, which is you know, as animators, we've done our work and study on learning like what works and what doesn't, or how a scene should kind of flow generally. So, or how we want the scene to flow. So if you're commissioning somebody to do a thing, give them freedom, you know? Like, you're asking for their creative take on a thing, and you're paying them to see how they would do. You know, like if you're paying somebody for like a drawing commission, and you're like, draw me Dexter, and you draw them Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, but in your style, and they're like, no, I want Dexter in the original, and you're like, oh, why are you commissioning me then? Because you're not seeing it in their creative take, you're seeing it in how you're just looking at like a screenshot from the show.
Yeah.
So what's the point? If you're going to commission somebody, give them their creative lead on it, you know? Let them do what they would do normally, but you're just paying them to see what the outcome would be. It's something that they wouldn't usually would do, but now they're doing it, but you're still getting their creative take on it. Blah, 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 blah. Next question.
Yeah. Okay, another one from Twisted Zephyr. God damn it, I accidentally clicked away.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleep tonight.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What? Of the projects you've worked on, what has been the most fun for you?
Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 1.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
It was fun because of, I don't know, working on a show. I've always wanted to create a series, like make all the episodes ahead of time, then release them.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Ever since I started animating, that's been like my thing.
Oh.
And getting to do that with Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, it was just the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Also, Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 1 was just like friends making a show together. Yeah. And you kind of feel it. It has that like kind of it didn't take itself seriously, but like it took itself seriously enough in the like pretense that it wanted to, that it was like lighthearted enough that it felt like just friends making a show. And I feel like that charm kind of sticks around with it now. Like that's something that Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 2 doesn't have, but Season 1 does. It has that special little charm. Well, like Season 2 isn't bad. It's just it's a very different take on Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy.
Yeah.
And I'm
more
sure,
serious.
I'm sure
near the end.
Yeah, I'm sure if you came back to for a third season, you would probably also approach that season differently than you would have previous ones, just to mix it up.
Yeah.
To kind of, you know, challenge yourself creatively. Maybe. Or you would just make Season 1 again. Or Season 2 2.
If I do make a third season, I don't even know what I would
You shouldn't
do.
call it Season 3. You should call it Season 2 2.
Season 2 as well.
No, just Season 2 2. Just Season 2 and then TWO.
I was actually thinking of making a quick little spin-off cartoon for Dr. Manta, because I feel like we could have used Dr. Manta way more.
Give Dr. Manta a backstory.
Yeah, give him a backstory.
Yeah.
Like, I came up with this cool backstory. You know, the hidden black guy in all the episodes in Season 1, Russ Man.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I put him in all the episodes in Season 2 as well.
Oh, you did?
But,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But like, I was like, oh, dude, I have this great idea for him. I'm not going to say it in the podcast. I'll tell you when we're done here.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah. But I had to cut it because I didn't have enough time, and I didn't want to go back and redo a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, next question. Last one from Twisted Zephyr. Any future projects in the works? I have a few things in the works, but not really, like... I'm just working on them on my own time. Like, now that Stu and Piv's done, I'm taking a huge break, because... Jesus Christ. A year and a half of nonstop work has been... terrible.
Yeah.
And like I'm still not relaxed now that I'm done. I can't relax.
Yeah.
I've been trying my best to relax. I lay on the couch and watch movies and it doesn't help.
You're just all anxious like I gotta work.
Yeah.
The thing about that though is like so that's the interesting thing about like making movies. Like movies is that like intense creative strain on you for like 3 years straight or whatever. And then you're like, I don't want to do it ever again. And then you sit around for like a month, and you're like, I want to work.
You're like, I gotta do it.
Yeah, I gotta be creative. I gotta work. And then you go and make another movie.
I'm glad we recycled Dr. Manta, because He was excited to voice for us, and like I didn't want to just leave him behind.
Yeah.
We rewrote that episode like 3 times.
Did he end up voicing for it?
Yeah. Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy.
He's like a high-pitched, wackier version of Sean Connery.
He is.
Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy.
This next one's from Joseph Arena. This is where we stopped.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better to animate episode and then upload and then episode and then upload, or make a whole season and upload on a schedule? My thing is I love making a season then uploading on schedule. That's my thing, because having people wait for an episode is the worst thing you can do. Having them wait for a season is fine, because then they get a whole burst of content out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it feels good, because like you either have them waiting 6 months for one episode or a year for a whole season.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to approach it, is to make the entire series and then release it on schedule so that people like know when your next thing is going to be out. You know, if you say, hey, here's the first episode, the next episode will be out same time next week. It's like, oh, yeah. Well, next Saturday I can look forward to seeing another episode of this show I'm mildly interested in. And then maybe 5 episodes down the line, you're like, oh man, I really like this. And then every Saturday you're looking forward to that. And then the show ends, and you're left sitting there in your chair dying because you want more. And there's no more because it just ended, and then you kill yourself. Or you go to the creator and like punch him in the dick until he makes more episodes.
Okay, I'll make your episodes. God damn.
Make more Breaking Bad. I'll make Call Saul.
No Breaking Bad.
And then it makes Call Saul, and he's like, it's not as good. And he's like, it's the best I could do. I can't outdo Breaking Bad. It was my best thing. And he's like, it's not as good.
This next one is from Jimmy Tran. Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Went to Pico Day 2014 with him. He did all the camera work for the puppet episode.
Whoa.
Yeah. Beef or chicken?
If he didn't have a tripod, he had very smooth hands.
Beef or chicken, Stu?
Chicken. You know, wait, are we talking about like ramen or just the flavor in general?
I think just food in general. Would you rather eat beef or would you rather eat chicken?
Beef. If it comes to ramen, chicken. If it comes to food in general, beef. I don't like chicken.
Yeah, same here.
I like chicken flavored ramen. Don't like chicken in general. I ate a lot of it back in Florida, and I still eat a lot of it here and there, but I prefer beef.
Yeah. This one's from... These next two are from... these next three are from some of my friends. The first one's aimed toward me. Mm-hmm. How do you draw a butt so perfectly? I don't know. I mean, like... I don't think my butts I draw are perfect.
You close your eyes and you bow your head to our Lord and Savior, Paul Tervort. And you take a moment to pray. And you go, Paul, how you draw the butt? And slowly, you can visualize clouds. And Paul's delicious hand comes down from the clouds and puts his finger under your chin and reaches your heads up to the sky. And you look Paul in the eyes, and his face is so beautiful you can't see it. It's shrouded by the cloud, and all you can see is light. And he says to you, my sons. And then your eyes open wide, and you just know, and you go and draw like 2 sticks with balloons on them, and a little crease in the middle.
This next one is from Paint Scroll. How many instances have you resisted the temptation to draw some hands as flabby penises, and how many have you failed to do so? For me, there's been a lot of instances where I really wanted to, but being that I'm professional, I don't. I resist. Stu?
I've never had this issue.
Oh, really?
I guess I'm the minority here.
People. Oh, God, get out of here. You stink. The next one's from Paint Scroll again. What takes longer for you, drawing the animation or coloring it? Drawing.
Coloring. You just get all your little colors together and just dab, like constantly every single frame. Yeah, just...
I like coloring.
Over and over and over.
I don't color until I'm done animating a certain shot.
Yeah.
And
either scene by scene, you color like scene by scene, or you could just do the whole thing and then go back and color it all.
Yeah.
I think I like,
color as soon as I finish because I feel like it's quicker.
Yeah, I like scene by scene.
Yeah.
But you get to see how it progresses, you know.
I love getting to color because...
I like coloring. Coloring's fun.
Because as soon as you're done animating, you're like, finally, I'm done animating.
We sound like children. Coloring's fun.
Coloring's fun.
It's so fun.
This next one is from David Terry. Do you believe Flash is dying or getting replaced by Toon Boom or other programs? Or do you think Flash will always fill at least the... Stu, what's this word? It's spelled N-I-C-H-E. Niche? Okay.
Yeah, like a niche market or something like that.
Oh, okay. Or do you feel like Flash will always fill at least a niche purpose?
How do you feel about this? Because I have an interesting... I think I have an interesting opinion on this.
I don't think Flash is dying. I think Flash is always going to be there for internet animators. But Toon Boom is taking over the TV industry. Like, everything uses Toon Boom now on TV.
I've heard that a lot of... There were some television shows. Like, I know that My Little Pony uses Flash.
Super Jail does.
Oh, Super Jail does. That's interesting. I think Flash is there for the people who want to use it, and I don't think anybody will... People who like using Flash will never stop using it. But with the rise of like vector programs like Kakani, where you draw keyframe, and then it vector traces everything in between, so it makes all your in-betweens for you, I think programs like that will maybe be the future. But I think programs like Flash will always be there for the people who really want to use them. Like people, like me, I'm moving away from Flash, but that's because as an illustrator, I'm not moving away from it. I'm not using it to make the show I'm gonna make. Yeah. I'm still gonna use Flash to draw and stuff like that because it is very natural to me at this point. But for animating, I think that Flash... It wasn't designed for it, Like, people have been saying that for years. Flash wasn't made for animation. We kind of forced ourselves into that. So, learning Flash as an animation program is a bit weird. But, again, I think people who want to use it will still use it, even 10, 15 years down the line, if the internet even exists at that point and isn't just microchips inside of our cerebral cortex. Or little computer chips in the back of our eyeballs that shoot laser beams out and make a bunch of virtual reality garbage. But if the internet is still around in 10 to 15 years and isn't some big stupid garbage brain thing like iRobot, or The Matrix, I think Flash will be around for people who want it. But anybody who wants a different program like Toon Boom will probably just search for that. Like, my thing about Flash is, like, I love the interface of Flash. It's such a clean, simple interface, and everything does what it needs to, And Toon Boom has the most disgusting filth interface in the universe, but it is...
I don't like Toon Boom's interface.
But it is a better program, but I don't care because that interface is so bad, I can't look at it. Now, if somebody modified that and made it to where... Toon Boom had like Flash's interface or something as simple that was that appealing, maybe. But I think Flash is the easiest to learn because it has a simple interface that does what it needs to and then just doesn't do anything else really, unless you want to learn all the hotkeys. And it because of that simplicity, it's easy to pick up, or at least easy to learn the basics of. Also, it's very straightforward. You want to make something simple, you right click and make it a symbol. Yada yada. I don't know how Toon Boom works or how Kakani works. I haven't got my fingers into Kakani yet, but I think programs that make in-betweens will probably be the future of animating programs. But I don't think anybody's going to stop using Flash. It's such a staple at this point for internet cartoons. Yeah. Next question.
This one's from Mark Robert G. How can I expand my audience? Like we said earlier, just... get to know people, collaborate with them, and upload on a good basis, like one animation a month. Would be good. Yeah,
that's a good number. Like try to do like one a month. Just try to show up, voice or do whatever you can to help out your friends. kind of get yourself around. Even if you're just like a name in the credits at the end of the video or in the description, you're still around. So people who really liked your performance in a thing or liked your voice will search you out. Or maybe they liked, what you did. They'll search around for you if they're that interested.
Yeah.
I'm sure the way that a lot of people found Rice Pirate Mick was, they heard his voice and they were like, oh, that guy's got a cool voice, and then would go out to like find him, because that's just the easiest way, putting yourself out there. Somebody who's interested will go searching for you. So I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. This next one is from Chris Shady. This one's for me.
Sorry, his name. Sorry, just Slim Shady. Sorry.
This one's for me. What's the day in the life of Pivots? I wake up, take a shower, brush my teeth, eat, animate, eat dinner, animate, go to bed.
Basically the same thing. Wake up, animate from like 10 to like 8, and then around 8 kind of go upstairs, spend time with my family, play a bit of video games until like 10 or 12, and go to bed. Rinse repeat. This
next one is from Victor Lopez. How do you go about adding effects and other polished stuff such as lighting or shading in Flash?
Lens flares! Lens flares, baby! Yeah!
Lens flares!
Lens flares!
Lens flares! Go!
Next question.
Well, we didn't even answer.
That should have been the answer. It really...
it depends on the way you do it.
Yeah,
I do it completely different from you, I know that.
Yeah. I shade everything.
I don't want to go into too much detail, because explaining the whole thing will take forever. The best thing to do would just be to look up a tutorial.
Yeah, a tutorial. Well, okay, the best way to go about shading is figure out a light source in the scene. The best way to go about shading is, look at a lot of reference. It's weird, but Pinterest is really good for reference and stuff like that. Just, looking in the mirror and holding a light up to you and seeing how light casts when it hits your nose, across your face like that. It really just kind of boils down to look at a lot of reference, learn how light kind of interacts with objects, how far it kind of stretches depending on where it is. That's not really that important, but learning the angles of shading is important. And find a light source in your scene. If you want to, you could set up a dot out of frame of the scene and be like, this is my light source, and kind of draw rays of light down from that, and then think okay, how would that interact with this character from where that is? Or you could just do it in your head or whatever. But I think that's one way that I tend to approach it, is set up a light source outside of the scene, just a little dot, just somewhere, a little dot that you can go, okay, that's where my light is, and then just kind of figure out how the light would project against your character, and that, if it's behind them, if it's in front of them, what angle are they at, that how would the light cast on them. It's a lot of thinking work, shading is, which is why a lot of people tend to not do it. They'll leave a scene, or they'll just kind of and another thing is outside lighting. I think if a character is out indoors, I think shading is really important, but outside is it's very niche, because there's so much light everywhere outside. I don't think you need a lot of shading, if even shading, when you're outside, or if you have a character outside, if you have a character with a skirt, you would shade the little underneath leg thing of their skirt, because there's no light being cast there. But I wouldn't put shading on their face or anything like that, because there's so much light going around them. But indoors, light is only being portrayed by light bulbs and windows. So things are important to catch, is the light coming from above him being a light bulb, or are they being lit up from behind because of a window behind them or something? So the thing about shading is such a weird way to approach things, because you do have to consider everything in the scene. Is there a light source behind them? Do I need to, backlight them? Is there something above them? Do I need to do it from above to where the shadows are, only casting downward? The light's only casting down, so, how would I approach the shadows in the scene there? Where is the light source? It's so many things to account for in a scene. It's a lot of work. But putting forth that extra work really stands out when you do it well. A lot of people will only do, if there's a dramatic scene and they have a close-up on the camera, or they have a close-up on the character, they'll do shading and stuff like that. But when they do a wide shot or a shoulder, kind of thing, they don't really show shading, or they'll always have a flat color, and then when you cut to an over-the-shoulder shot from one character looking at another one, they'll have shading there on the back of the character, which that's fine too. But again, adding that little extra thing of shading, I think really helps your overall aesthetic of the cartoon, instead of just having it blankly colored. But if you look at something like Ed's World, Ed's World doesn't have a lot of shading, but when they do shade it, it's to help the scene. If something's dramatic and they have a close-up on the camera or something like that. And Ed used to shade it a lot. He shaded I think What the Future a bit, or not What the Future. I think What the Future was really bland, or didn't have, it was flat colors. I think Hammerfail had a lot of shading in it, so he was getting to that point where he did shade a lot of stuff, but it does kind of boil down to do you want to shade things? Because shading is it's a completely other step. It's almost reanimating the entire cartoon, because it's so much work to shade something, but the end product benefits because of that. So again, it's just if you want to do it,
I only shade when it's a dramatic scene, or if shading is needed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it if they're just throughout the whole cartoon. I wouldn't just shade. I'd only do it if there's a light right on them, or there's an explosion in front of them, behind them, or if something drastic happened, I'd add shading.
Yeah. Well, again though, most of the Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy takes place outside though.
Yeah.
Or if it is indoors, there's usually a light source on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just if you want to.
This next one is from Tracy Troust. I sure hope I said that right. What's the biggest hurdle to get over when you started animating? Going from stick figures to colored animation.
Oh god, anatomy. Learning anatomy is really hard. Well, because the thing about anatomy is you need to learn anatomy so that you can kind of cartoon it, and even having a cartoony art style, it's still important to learn anatomy. Kind of just how things work to help with character animation.
You need to know anatomy.
Yeah.
Even though cartoons look funny, they still have anatomy.
Yeah. There's still a semblance or a resemblance of human anatomy, even if in a cartoon. Things like gumballs still resemble humans enough. It's there. It's a relative thing. You can relate to a more human kind of character. That's why characters like Bugs Bunny and stuff are popular, because even though I hate them and their anthropomorphic, or however you say that, gross faces disturb me, and I hate furries, the point is that that humanistic side of it is something that a lot of people can relate to, and having a knowledge, even if you're not dealing with human characters, having that knowledge of anatomy is still really good too. But that's if you're drawing characters like Bugs Bunny. If you're drawing a dog being literally a dog, you can't use your human knowledge of anatomy for that. You need to learn dog anatomy.
Yeah.
So it is really just before you tackle animating a certain thing, it's really important to kind of do your research on how that thing works before you do it.
This next one is from Tracy Troust again. It's basically the what got us into animating question. Well, my answer is, what animated films or TV shows inspired you to start making your own? Well, Freddy Got Fingered inspired me to start animating, but the show that I used to watch the most that would amaze me was Ed, Edd n Eddy. I would watch Ed and Eddie constantly when I was little, and I was just always watching. I would get up close to the TV, and I was always like, how'd they do that? What are they doing? How'd they draw the same background the exact same time, every frame, every picture? It's the same background. And it doesn't move like them. Like, they boil, but their background's
Move the piece of paper. Of course you know that now.
yeah.
What? They moved the piece of paper? No. The thing about that, though... Oh, God. What did I watch? I grew up watching a lot of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I really like that show.
And Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Well, I hate Ed and Eddie, so...
Oh, I didn't even know it, really? I had no idea.
I don't like Ed and Eddie. I like okay, let's just be straight here, Jordan. We're friends. I can't stand Ed and Eddie. I can't watch that show. I cannot look at it. I like that they really, used line boiling a lot, and I love when something uses line boiling, and I think that that's really cool that they use that. But I hate that show. I hate how it looks. I hate how they talk. I don't like that show at all. I can't stand it. I'm sorry.
Did you know, and forgive me if I'm wrong, this is to my knowledge, but I think I'm right. Ed and Eddie was the last TV show to use traditional animation.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And they still line boiled, which is also difficult with traditional animation.
So they would redraw, like, each still frame 3 times just to do that line boil.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I think, like, I found this out recently, that they were the last show. I don't know if it was on TV, but I know on Cartoon Network that was the last traditionally animated show.
That's interesting. I still don't like that show, though.
I thought that was a neat little thing.
Yeah,
that's my biggest inspiration.
That's really cool.
Right there.
I liked Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Billy and Mandy.
I love Foster's.
I love Foster's. Foster's really good.
This next one is from James Bear. Why are you so awesome? I'm not.
What?
Next one.
I completely just spaced out on that question.
He asked me why I'm so awesome, and I said I'm not.
Oh, he's not. I'm not either. No one is.
No
really.
one is.
Yeah, no one is.
This one's from James Bear again. Do you know any other animators? No, I don't know anyone really.
You liar.
This one is from Darius Miller. I'm lying so much. He said, do you know any animators like Paul Tervorda or Oni? And I know them both.
You know them both. I know none of them because Jordan doesn't introduce me to cool people, but
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I met them through Pico Day.
Yeah, I want to go to Pico Day. Maybe now when I have a job, I can meet you at Pico Day for once, and I'll finally be able to touch your body.
Oh, man. I hope your leg is as long as my leg.
I bet I'm taller than you. How tall are you?
You are. I'm not tall. I'm 5'8".
Oh, I'm 6'3".
Yeah, I know.
No, I want to go to Pico Day really bad. I would love to meet all the people that I look up to. I think it'd be really fun.
In season 2 of Stu and Piv, I made you taller than Piv-Boy.
No.
I don't know if you caught that on. But
no.
I made you... Why no? Like, not tall, but I mean, like, you could tell that he's taller when they stand next to each other.
Weren't they? They were about the same height in season 1, right? I don't know.
Yeah, they were the same height.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say,
I decided to make him a bit taller.
I don't remember what happened.
This next one is from Darius Miller. Or Darius Miller. I'm sorry. How long does it take you to make one Flash animation? Kind of answered this earlier.
Yeah,
it really
we
depends
answered this
on,
before. It really depends.
It really depends.
Yeah, it depends on the cartoon.
If I'm determined to get it done, I'll get it done, like, really quick. But if it's something I'm dreading, it takes me months.
Most animators, it takes about, like, a week and a half, a week to do, like, a week and a half to, like, 3 weeks to do, like, a minute.
Yeah.
But Jordan is a madman and works way too quickly.
And, like, the outcome is decent.
Yeah, so...
This next one is from Sir Duck D. What process do you have to go through to produce an episode of Stu and Piv? Season 2 was a lot different from Season 1. I'll do both seasons. Season 1, me and Stu would go into a Skype call.
I was going to say, we wrote a script in, like, 10 minutes, and then...
10 minutes to an hour.
We had an idea.
We'd animate.
We had an idea. We would write a script in, like, 10 minutes to, like, an hour, and within that day, we were already animating it.
Almost done with the episode.
Yeah, we were already animating it. so like pretty quickly.
We would go into Skype calls. I would screen share and I would start drawing something up and writing dialogue next to it. And if Stu liked it, I went on to the next frame. But if he didn't like it, I would erase it, do it.
It turned out we kind of wrote it as we go, which like I still do, which is an issue that I have. Like I kind of write scenes to how I feel a character should talk. But the thing was like Jordan would write it on the side and I would sit there and look and I'd be like, I think they should say that, and he'd be like, okay, and then he'd change it.
Okay.
And then I'd be like, I don't like that, maybe change it back, and he's like, okay, and then we'd change it back, and that's just kind of how it went. We would
storyboard and write episodes at the same time, basically.
Which I still have that problem. I still do that, which I shouldn't, because you should write scripts first. But like it really just is like how people work individually, you know?
Yeah. And then after we would do that, we would sometimes I would start animating without audio, and then I'd just time it out later.
Yeah.
And I did that a lot in season 1. And after we would get the audio, I'd just time it all out, add lip sync, anything else I could think of, and I'd shoot it to Stu, and he'd do backgrounds and clean it up a bit.
Yep. And I would add sometimes in-betweens if I felt that something was too choppy.
Yeah.
Which I did 2 or 3 times.
I know you did in episode 2 when he was lifting up his arm after Piv threw the fucking table on him. Piv-Boy!
I also did it in... Piv-Boy? I also did it in episode 1. Stu has a thing.
Was it the part
he says
where he was outside?
He says something where he like moves his body upward a little bit when he says it. Like moves his head back and his body kind of tilts forward a bit. And I like added an in between to that or something. I don't remember what it was. It was something like that.
That was basically season 1 in a nutshell. Season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2. I hate to like say this, but I basically did everything.
Yeah.
And like I had my friend Austin help me with some dialogue, but like I wrote the entire storyline basically.
Yeah.
And dialogue here and there. If Austin had a funny joke, I'd toss it in. Some jokes weren't funny.
All of them.
That stayed in. Shut up. And
sorry.
it took me 2 months to write season 2. And then I got Dan to help with the finale a bit.
Yeah.
And Dan did a really good job. And
Dan is a good writer.
And then after that, Stu and I both recorded. We both did like an 1.5 hour long session, and it took me 2 days to like cut each line out and everything. That was
a lot of stew you didn't ask for.
Yeah, a lot of stew, and a lot of stew that went missing. You missed so many lines, and season 2 would be so much longer, but you missed so many lines.
Tell me to record them again.
That was when you didn't have internet.
Oh.
Yeah, and by the time I finished the episode was when you got your internet back. But it's no big deal. Season 2's done.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Sorry?
It took me. I don't care. It took me 2 days to individuably cut out each line.
Yeah.
God, that was the worst 2 days of my life. Because I was using this program I've never used, Ableton.
Oh.
That's what I'm using right now to record this. It's what I used to record now.
Oh, Mr. Mike and his crap programs on his Apple.
And I've never used Ableton, so I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And it took so long, but like, Ableton has like a compressor, so like it made everything all nice and clear.
Yeah.
And quiet and whatnot.
I wish I had a compressor. I heard that digital compressors exist, but I couldn't find any. Like,
Mr. Mike has a bunch.
Well, I heard that
you gotta buy them.
Oh, is it like a box you plug it into?
No, like it's a plug-in for your programs.
Oh, is it for Apple?
For anything.
Oh, I don't know.
For Apple?
Oh.
Anyways,
I really need some.
After I got all the audio for season 2, I did all the storyboards and animatics, which took 2 months. So, from January to April was basically pre-production, and then from April to recently was whenever I actually animated. Like, it's basically I just animated, I guess. I don't know. I would time out the animatic and then animate over it. That's it.
Yeah.
The usual. Next question. This one is from Casey Hopkins. Who is that? Casey Hopkins is who Case-Boy is based off of, by the way. Who is Stu-Boy? I really don't know. I've never heard of such a abysmal name.
You could just call me Sauce.
This next one is from Casey Hopkins.
What?
What will you be doing after season 2 is over? Honestly, right now, I can't say, because I literally just finished season 2. And I'm just taking a break for now. I mean, there's some ideas I have here and there, but nothing that I want to work on yet.
Jerking off.
That makes sense. Question 50. Hey, we're getting there.
Hey.
Hey. This next one is from Alexander Immenheiser.
Oh my god.
How long have you been animating? Almost 5 years.
Not as long as Jordan.
No, you
Jordan,
you've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years. Jordan, like, I don't call myself an animator. I would say I'm an illustrator. I enjoy drawing. Jordan has, like, been addicted to animating ever since he got Flash.
Yeah.
Like, it's fantastic.
It's my bread and butter.
Let me plug your, like, an existing DeviantArt, which is go to Jordan's DeviantArt and look back 5 years ago to the stuff he made before and just kind of scroll up and watch every single thing he had and watch his progression. Like, Jordan has been
Please do.
It's really funny to see.
I do it every now and then.
Yeah, it's a great old trip. I love watching all Jordan's old stuff with him. But
I did this the other day with Dan and Casey. I was like, "Oh my god, let's redo Epic Adventures, guys." And Casey's like, "No."
But that's the thing, is like, Jordan's always been outrageously fast and addicted to animation. And I like animation, but I'd never had that drive that Jordan had for it. But I enjoy drawing a lot, so yeah. I draw a lot more than I do animate. But my god, Jordan is an animator. I'm an illustrator. He is very much an animator, though.
Yeah. Next one is from Alexander again. Alexander Immenheiser.
Also, he's got a cute butt.
Thank you. Is there merit to animation that's crude and rude? Stu, do you have an input?
So, working on my show that you have not seen yet, people watching this, which is a show called Nolan and Brian. It's
basically Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, but not as good.
No, it's not the same in any way. But
no, it's different. I've seen some of it.
It's really weird to find that balance, because you can make a clean show very funny, situationally, kind of like how Seinfeld did it. But I don't watch Seinfeld and would never tell someone to, because it's not good. Which I will get crucified for, but I don't like it. But the thing about it is, like, you can make a show clean and make it very funny. But I think there are moments that adding language could enhance the joke. Just throwing random cursing into a show doesn't make it any better. The best example of this, like, I adore this show, but the best example I could get was the anime Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. That show, there's like an F-bomb every other second of the series, but that's just the characters. And another thing is, you could have characters that don't curse at all, or characters that curse all the time. It just depends on the character. If you want to get a point across, like how this character is, you could have someone that a character runs into and they just curse all the time because that's just who they are. And you could have a character who doesn't, and even though they're in the same scene, one doesn't need to curse because the other one is. He does his thing, the other guy does his. It's really just like how you want to write a scene. If you feel cursing with this character could make it funnier or not. I think the first episode of Nolan and Brian doesn't have any cursing in it, like, at all. But later episodes in the series have a lot of cursing because I felt it would make it funnier for the characters to be stressed out and have situations that they were uncomfortable with. And Most of the time when someone is panicked or angry, they curse a lot. So they're usually clean. But if you add, a layer to the character, which is if someone's in panic, they curse, or they run into a character who curses, that's just a character trait to me, I think. And that's something you have to consider when writing a character, is that you could do it clean, or you couldn't, or you could have kind of a balance. Rick and Morty, when Rick and Morty started out, there's like barely any cursing. It's moderate cursing, like D and H. But when you get into later episodes, Rick straight up like curses, use F and S and other things like that. So it is just kind of, do you want this character to curse? Yes, no, does it work in the scene? Do you want to make this character threatening? Do you want to make this character feel threatened? It's just kind of, it's a lot of consideration about the character and the scene that they're involved in, I think. Again, like shading, it's up to you. It's your decision to make the character, have specific traits. But I don't think throwing random cursing into the show makes it any better. But as a character trait, I think it works.
Yeah. I think you might like this next question. It's from Tyler Landis.
Really?
Would you rather make a career out of YouTube or get picked up by TV?
It's
kind of obvious, man. I'd rather get picked up by TV than have to strive off YouTube.
With Patreon, I think YouTube is manageable.
No, this is strictly YouTube.
Oh, like just off YouTube?
Yeah. I'd rather get picked up by TV.
I think at this point it's your only chance. It's your only choice, really. Like,
yeah. If you want to make $200 every 3 years off YouTube, good for you.
So here's the thing. I think at this point, if there's a series you want to make that couldn't get on television, as a hobby, I think making it for YouTube is fantastic. But I think, like, anybody could do it. Anybody could be a children's book author. If you're an artist, you could draw.
The little caterpillar walked up the tree to his mother, and the caterpillar took a dump on his mother's face, and the mother said to this small caterpillar, "Why did you do this? I hate you so much, I wish you were never born." And the tiny caterpillar looked inside himself and says, "Bitch, you don't know me," and jumped off the top of the tree, killing himself on impact. And the mother says, "I didn't mean it. You dumb bitch."
Anybody could do it.
Published.
It's just whether or not, you want to. It's whether or not you want to. And a lot of people say, like, "You're selling out." No, selling out is something you wouldn't morally do. If I wanted to make a quick buck, I could just make a kid's novel, whatever. A simple story about learning the right and wrong of the world. Anybody who lives a day in real life could write a kid's book instantly. It's just whether or not that's something you want to do. So, any animator, any artist could do a kid's book. Any animator, any artist could come up with some garbage show like Uncle Grandpa or Steven Universe, or I won't say Adventure Time, because the first 3 seasons of Adventure Time were actually good, but then they got really bad because they ran out of ideas. But the point still stands. I think if there's a show that you have a really interesting idea for that didn't get picked up, if you can't animate it, Kickstarter's always a thing. If you think it's worthy, doing it as a hobby is always kind of something you could do. But you could always sell a show. Something that's a good example for this is if you've been following Max Gilardi for the many years he's been on the internet. He had that I forget what it was, the name of it, but he had the show about the little fish boy that he tried to pitch to, I think it was like Nickelodeon, and they just didn't take it. It seemed like a fine kids show, he seemed like he had everything together when he went and pitched it to them. Maybe it was his pitch, I don't know. I don't know Max, personally, but I know that not everyone's going to get it, but as an artist, I think you have the potential of giving a show to a studio. So getting picked up from a studio is a potentially good thing, if you can. Another thing is if you're just an idea machine, and the industry, is garbage, and you kind of get how garbage it is, you could make a show like Fishtails on Disney, or any Disney show in general, where it's just like, ha ha ha, a squirrel and a yellow ball bounce downtown to the local park and run into a mustached man fixing the plumbing, and they kill him and now are outlaws on the run. And the only way for them to get past the law is to become murderous villainers. Like, ideas are everywhere, It's just pitch a thing, doesn't get picked up, whatever. I'm rambling and have no idea what I'm talking about anymore.
It was the question, would you rather make a career out of YouTube or get picked up by TV?
Neither, because television is filth and YouTube has no point.
Thank you. The next one is from No Stylin' again. Do you think it's important to maintain your health? Yes. If you're an unhealthy animator...
Mental health? Mental health or physical health?
Mental or physical?
Because
both.
I got bad physical health, but I got good mental health, so... Take that as you will.
I need to eat more. I need to eat
less.
Tyler Landis said, did you ever use a cracked version of Flash? No, I paid $700.
No, everybody paid $700. There's not a single person on the internet who paid, who illegally downloaded Flash. Who BitTorrented Flash. Why would we? Yeah. Why would we do that? Why? Why would you waste your time being illegal to do that? Oh wait, it's because it's a $700 program, and it's garbage.
This next one is from Jesse J. Jones. He actually won the first Flash Holes.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guy I don't know.
How much time per day do you spend animating? Pretty much the whole day, except for sleeping and eating.
I'm not as bad as Jordan. I spend about 6 or 7 hours a day, maybe, drawing. If I want to. Sometimes I just have a day where I just don't draw. And then I feel kind of crap because I didn't draw that day. But, like, sometimes it's you need to take a break,
Yeah.
So.
Our theme for May was prank phone calls. And, like, there were so many really good entries. But his entry, he used some audio from Crank Yankers.
Oh, my God.
Of special ed. And it was a really short clip, but, like, it was good. Like, in the competition, you can make it as long or as short as you want. We don't mind, as long as you do it and get it done. Like, that's the whole point. Just get it done. But, like, I'll show you his entry after this. It's really good.
Okay.
This next one's from him again. How do you get your strokes to look so nice in Flash, and what settings do you prefer?
Okay.
It really depends on your tablet, honestly, because different tablets have different pressure sensitivity.
This is also true.
I just got a Cintiq, and it has double the pressure sensitivity of my old tablet, which was just an Intuos Medium. So, like, that plays a big part, and also your smoothing in Flash. I've only used Flash, but I either have mine on 45 or 50, usually 45, and I clean it up. I clean up my lines. Stu taught me how to clean up my lines.
Yeah. So one of the things I started out in Flash noticing was that I hate the line art in Flash. So I took like a year figuring out how to draw really well with Flash to make it look like, not garbage. And a thing I figured out recently is if you draw with the pencil tool, which is kind of like, people don't like it because you can't like warp it as well. There's no vector points. Well, there is vector, whatever. Pencil tool's weird. But what I realized is if at 100%, your thinnest brush will look exactly the same if you're using the pen tool with 2.40 as your thickness on the pen tool. And when you draw with that, if you finish a drawing and you want that to be like you drew it with the brush, so you can modify it however you want. You draw the whole thing, whatever, and you select the whole thing, and you go up to the top of the page and go to modify. what is it? I think you go to modify shape and look for
Expand fill?
No. It's convert lines to fill.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll turn all of your artwork that you just did with the pen tool into paint. So you can then, just drag and you can just click paint whatever and not have to switch the thing with like the alt key and whatever and make it a pen thing. So that's a thing that I've realized recently that I like a lot, that like really guarantees your smoothness. But if you're just drawing, a really easy way to do it is here's a little trick. The faster you move in Flash, the less the program can keep up with you to wobble your lines. So if you do a really quick stroke, just like click, swipe, done, just really quick, it tends to not be able to keep up too much with making your lines really bad. But if you have a slow processor in your computer, it could also make your lines very jagged. The vectors will have a hard time keeping up with how fast you're moving, and it'll kind of make your things very brickish, like low poly kind of looking. I don't have that problem because I have a high processor on my computer, but I know my last computer had that problem where if I drew too fast, it would get a little weird. But a thing that I do is if you draw, do the quick swipe thing and whatever, once you have that stroke, and if there's a little bit that's like kind of weird or wonky, look where okay, so this is going to take a really specific eye, and this is where Flash gets a little weird if you're using Flash. So you want to get really close and see where the flattest pixels, so you'll like look at it and the pixels kind of bend with your lines and everything. This is like pixel stuff right here. So you need to look at where the flattest part of your line is and select that on each side. So you need to do a circle. So you need to capture whatever selection you think looks kind of bad and go at the flattest part of your line and try to capture just that area. So if you have a circle, you want to, from the right side, you want to do the flattest part on the right and the flattest part at the bottom, and just catch that curve, and then open up your select tool and smooth it. You can smooth or straighten. Straighten seems to have a bit of a strange effect to it. It either makes things a lot more rounded and circular, or they make them more straight. So you can have a perfect object, or you could have straight lines. So the easiest way to do that, another thing, never select a whole thing. Select it just before the edge of it, because if you select the edge of a thing, it'll smooth it really weird. So, if you have a straight line, select, maybe, I can't say inch, just select it a little bit before the corners of it. And when you use the straighten tool, it will make that part that you selected completely straight, but the very tips of it, which may have been kind of weird, will stay how they were, but you just kind of move that out and then, erase or delete whatever you had before. And you'll have like the most perfect straight line ever. Because Flash is weird, though. Because Flash is weird. But it's really just, you need to experiment with it. There's not a lot of ways to just say, this is how you do that. It's just, it's hard to explain. You really got to learn Flash and just kind of play around with the brushes. Just like, take a lot of days. I was just going to say one day, but like take a lot of time to just play with brushes. Select little areas to smooth if you mess up a line, kind of just work it. If you're wondering about resolution, oh god, what do I use? If you go to YouTube and put it into widescreen and then screen cap your widescreen for whatever that is, then take the dimensions of the widescreen. Usually that's a good kind of representation of the resolution you should have. That doesn't apply for everybody, yada yada. But that's what I did, and then I kind of worked off that. Did I want to make it, a bit stretched out wider? I think I used like 580 by like 760 or something like that, something weird. So it's something like that. You can use whatever you want, really. It doesn't matter. I would say use widescreen. Don't do a 4x16 kind of screen thing. That's weird. But I always draw at 100% at my little widescreen resolution, and I use the smallest brush on the brush tool. But if I want to, because like I learned both. I learned both the brush and the pen because I feel like they have their uses. You know, most people are like, never use the pen tool. The pen tool is terrible. It's not terrible. It's just different. Because the thing about using the pen tool is that you can select it, and if you go to the color, you know, like you click it and go to dab the color, there's a little like Xbox little thing where it's got like a little box with a red X, and if you click that, it'll get rid of all of the line art. But if you have it filled in with paint, it'll keep all the paint, and that's how a lot of people make backgrounds. Is they'll draw everything with the pen tool and then do that and delete all the pen, and then you just have like bricks of color, which work really well for backgrounds. But I keep my brush at 40 because 40 is kind of like the looser. It's in between having 0, where it looks jagged and terrible and like garbage, which a lot of animators like Twisted Grimm and Rubber Ross. Well, not Ross. I don't think Ross's line art is that bad, but a lot of animators have switched to like 0 smoothing, and it looks like crap.
Who did I just think of?
There's a lot. There's a lot of animators that do it. Because smoothing is a really annoying... Lazy Muffin. Yeah. But there's a lot of animators who have done it.
Yotam. He doesn't do it anymore, though.
Yeah. But it's because dealing with smoothing it's a completely other thing you have to learn about Flash. And it's a really annoying part that not a lot of people like to learn. But I feel like it has its uses. You know, if you look at Paulter Ford, his smoothing is fantastic. But the thing about Paul, which I looked into this, and he says he's going to release a video saying how he does stuff so smoothly. I know how he does it so smooth. Paul has 0... so Paul works in an early version of Flash. He works in like Flash 6 or something like that. Or not 6.
Flash 8.
He works in Micromedia Flash MX, okay? It's a really, really version of Flash. So the way that Paul gets his smoothing is that he draws at the speed of light. That little really quick swipe thing I just said, he does that with every single line that he draws. And because he does it so fast, the computer can't keep up, and it just smooths his line. Because I got MX, and MX has no options for smoothing. So the only way he did that is drawing at the speed of light. And if you go back and watch the Heroes of Animation on Hoo-Ha 2, you can see that when he draws, it's just like a huge big swipe. And because he draws like that, MX can't keep up, and it makes his lines like the smoothest thing in the universe. So he cheats. He's a cheater. He's a fantastic man, but he's a cheater. He cheated the system of Flash, and that's hilarious, and I love it. You can't really do that with Flash these days. You could turn your smoothing to 0 and kind of replicate what MX does, but MX is coded differently than Flash 5 or, you know, whatever we use. I use 5.5. So there is tricks to getting smooth line art, but overall, like Jordan said, it's working at a pretty decent sized resolution, not zooming in too much, because the thing that a lot of people get wrong is, like, if you zoom into 200% and use the second or third brush, I think it's the second brush, it looks the same as if you were at 100% and used the first brush, but you have the potential to get kind of weird line art, because cleaning up at that zoom can get kind of wonky with how lines work. So just experiment. It's the best way to kind of say the tips I gave you are fantastic, because again, you just learn. You have to learn how to get smooth line art eventually. And a lot of animators just don't care. They draw like one line and they're like, well, it's good enough, and just move on. But I think really, really nice line art helps a lot. You know, I have shaky hands quite a bit, so I struggle. But you know, maybe I'll draw the thumbnail for this video or something, so you can see what I mean by, like, good line art really helps. You know what we'll do, Jordan? I'll draw Stu-Boy and you draw Piv-Boy, and we'll draw them. You sketch it and I'll clean it up. You draw them at a table talking, and I'll clean up Stu-Boy and you clean up Piv-Boy, and we'll see side by side how different the line art is with the two of us. But yeah, there's no easy answer to that. There really isn't. There's no way to sum that up that isn't a whole bunch of just Flash coding garbage. Like, you just learn. You just have to experiment with it. Next question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Again, there's no other way to explain that, though. Like, Flash has, like, the strangest smoothing settings, and, like, Toon Boom doesn't have that. Toon Boom is, like, outrageously smooth all the time, because it's just, I guess it's just got, like, good vector tracking, but Flash doesn't. So Flash just kind of freaks out if you do a weird thing it doesn't like.
Sorry, I was in the middle of yawning.
Oh, were you asleep the whole time? Did I talk that much?
I fell asleep the entire time, Stu. That was a good, 8 hours? Okay.
It was like 8 minutes or something like that. I rambled about smoothing.
This next one is from Chris Shady again.
Oh.
How did you and Stu-Boy meet, and where did you get the idea to make a show? We met in a live stream, a Jacksamoto live stream.
So, okay, I'll sum this up really quickly because I just talked for like 8 minutes about smoothing. I got really lucky and happened to get into
a Skype call
with Jaxie from Jacksamoto back when she streamed a lot. Jaxie, come back, I love you. Back when she streamed a whole bunch, and Jordan was in the Skype call, and he messaged me on Skype after I was in the call, and he was like, "Hey, you're kind of cool," and I'm like, "A person that draws? Oh my, what?" So one day Jordan finally called me, and I was a nervous wreck, but I guess I was cool enough that he didn't instantly delete my account from Skype. And one day we just got to talking a whole bunch, and then he called me like the next day and the day after, and one day we were just in a Skype call. No, I did a thing. I went out, we were talking one day, and then I went out to the store, and I came back, and you were drawing me, and I got really confused, and you're like, I'm making a show called Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy. Or I don't think you even named it at that point.
No, it was a Tofa entry, remember?
Yeah. You were making the Tofa entry when I came back from the store, and you couldn't figure out what you wanted to do, and then all of a sudden I come back from the store, and you were just drawing me, and I'm like, what's this? Yeah. And you're like, my Tofa entry, and eventually you called it Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy. But yeah.
And then I remember, I was like, Stu, let's make a show.
Yeah. Well, because after that, you were like, I'll make Stu and Piv-Boy episode 2 for the next round. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And when you...
We just started making shit episodes.
No. After episode 2, Tofa said, you can't do this again. We refuse to accept a cartoon with the same characters twice.
Yeah, they...
and you got really confused and pissed off. And you were like, well, frick you, I'll just release it on YouTube.
I got cut off the competition because I reused character designs, which is against the rules, but, like, that's okay, though.
No, it's not.
I don't care anymore.
No, it's not. That's stupid. But, so, what happened was, Jordan was like, well, frick you, I'll just release it on, on YouTube, and then he approached me, and he was like, hey, you want to make Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy a series? And I was like, I'm not doing anything. So... we just got in a Skype call like every day and made season 1. But yeah, I just happened to be in a Skype call with Jaxie, and Jordan just listened to me ramble about animation and Flash, and me being really nervous talking to one of my favorite animators, and I said a lot of stupid stuff I wish I could go back and re-say, because it was like my only time I ever got to talk to Jaxie, and I was so flustered because, again, it's one of my like most looked up to animators. I love her. But yeah, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and met Jordan and got really lucky, and I'm glad I did, because Jordan is a fantastic friend who I don't get to talk to that much, but is a very relatable friend, because, Flash animators, there's a thing about having friends who draw, which is there's a sub-level to the friendship that, like, any artist can relate to having artist friends, which is, like, you all understand how difficult making art is and kind of have a respect for each other in that sense, where even if somebody says, like, I was really critical about Jordan in season 1, I cut a lot of stuff out of season 1 because I would say that's really stupid, and he would go, oh, okay, and then would cut it. But we worked back and forth with that, and I wasn't there for that with season 2, but I feel like season 2 came out, pretty good for me not being there.
It came out a lot better than I expected. Like, some episodes I were a bit iffy on.
Yeah.
Especially, writing, recording, and then doing the storyboard. I was a bit weird about them, but then after I finished animating them, I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised at how well it came out. Like, the duck episode.
Trust me, I am too.
I'm surprised.
But, yeah, I think it's important that you have art friends. Because there's a level of respect for them that, just some guy who works at Walmart who you're friends with, you're not going to have. like you have such a deep understanding about a thing that not a lot of other people have, being like art friends. It's weird. It's a strange little it's a feeling that like you can't explain about a friendship with someone who does art unless they're just a faggot, and then you drop them. But like someone who's really cool who you're friends with who does art, there's a strange feeling about it that's very unique, which is why I think that a lot of artists should have other artist friends.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question is another one from Jose Luis Rivas.
Yeah.
Have you ever animated a dick?
A dick?
Yeah, I have. Just for fun, though. I like animated a dick wobbling around because it was funny.
I think at some point every artist draws penises. At some point every artist will draw, outrageous phallical objects and, mild pornography and stuff like that, just for fun. It's something we all experience all the time, and not drawing it would be weird. Not a lot of people have a problem with nudity in movies, but I think it's an everyday thing we all experience. No one has clothes on all the time. You're gonna have moments when you are naked with another person or just by yourself, and like nudity is a part of our life. So wanting to draw that, being that you live it every day, it's something that you experience and you want to draw. So I think every artist can kind of relate to, like, oh, I've jokingly drawn a dick, or I've jokingly drawn, a vagina or something like that, just because, there's no reason behind it. You just do it because it's something you can relate to.
Yeah, pretty much. I draw penises because they're funny.
They're funny. They're so weird.
They're funny. I know.
Weird looking. Next question.
The next two are from Ryan Binneton.
Whoa.
Binneton. So, sorry if I said that wrong.
Binnelton.
How did you get Flash animation? I paid the $6,000 for the program.
Yep. $12,000 for Flash.
And the next one is, how do you stay motivated and away from procrastination?
Jerk
for me,
off.
For Stu, it's jerking off. But for me, whenever I start a project, I want to finish it. And not having it done drives me to get it done. Like, if I see a project that I haven't finished yet, I get pissed. And I'm like, I gotta do this, so I do it. I finish it. That's basically how Stu and Piv Season 2 was. Because I hated working on it. And I was like, this isn't done. And now that it's done, I don't know.
Yeah.
I still have my motivation. The next question's about the same, from Ethan Bell. How do you get motivated and stay in the zone? Basically the same way.
Yeah, it's
if just the fact that finishing a project, like when you finish a project, you feel so good.
It's the best.
That sounded funny.
The best way to do. Not a lot of animators say it like, "Oh, it's so fulfilling." No, it feels like you just came. Like, it's the most fulfilling thing when you finish it and you just sit back like, oh yeah, and you can just look back at the cartoon and just be like, oh man, I done it. And you just sit there in your own squalor like, it was me. Like, it's a surreal feeling when you finish a project. Like, I finish a lot of artwork and stuff like that, but when you work 3 and 4 days on a piece of artwork, it still kind of has that same feeling where, like, you finish it and you just lean back in your chair and you're just like,
This next one is another from Eddie Fisher. Animating takes a lot of time. Do you ever spend time concentrating on just improving your art? Sometimes I do, but like, now that I'm free of Stu and Piv, I'll probably just do nothing but improve my art because I don't like it.
Yeah.
But during season 2, I was going to college. I'm taking art courses, and
draw a bunch of old, fat, naked ladies.
Yeah, that's basically what I did. But like, it was good because like, bless you, Mr. Mike. It sounds weird, but drawing like a naked person is the best practice. Like,
Yeah.
having someone naked in front of you and then drawing them in that pose is probably the best practice you can get for anatomy and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I've been doing recently. I've been looking up art websites that have pictures, references, whatnot. Art websites like Pornhub, Xvideo, RedTube. And in class, we had this old naked lady come in, and we had to draw her.
Oh,
like
God.
It came out pretty good. Like, I was proud of myself because I've never drawn a naked person before.
Yeah.
And it came out nice.
Sitting there drawing, and I'm like, I can't finish the drawing. My erection is getting in the way of the piece of paper on my lap.
It was gross. It was all, like, saggy.
I don't want to hear it. Shut up.
Okay, good. Next question. Next question from Sasha Gardner. How did you come up with Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy and their names? It's just basically...
It's us.
It's us.
It's
but,
us.
Like, the way I came up with their names, I improv'd most of the first episode.
Yeah.
And when it got to the point of introducing Stu-Boy, I didn't want to use Stuart. Like, I didn't want to go, hey, it's my good friend Stuart. I was like, that sounded funny.
Yes, the
I was
name
like,
Stuart doesn't flow well. That's why I don't like my name.
Oh, hey, it's my good friend Stu-Boy was the first thing I said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really catchy. So it was originally gonna be called Piv and Stu-Boy.
Yeah, I was about to say, but Piv-Boy wasn't really decided by the first episode.
Yeah.
In the first episode,
I
it was
didn't-
just Stu-Boy, because you didn't want to call me Stuart, because the name Stuart is terrible, because it can't flow into anything.
Yeah.
So-
And in the first episode, Piv-Boy, you say Piv-Boy at the very end.
I
was
do.
gonna say-
that was
I was gonna say,
again,
if-
that was worked in like really late
Yeah.
though.
That was like around the time when we were about to send the entry in
Yeah.
for Tofa.
That was like last
But,
minute dialogue kind of stuff.
And we came up with Piv-Boy just so it would match. And then everyone
Yeah.
else's names came up with that, like, something boy or something boo. I didn't want to use girl, because that just sounded weird. I needed, like, another thing for girls.
Yeah, wasn't that just Kelsey? That was just Kelsey being like, name me this.
There was an episode that I wrote
Yeah.
to replace the spider episode.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, it was that one where like Kelsey and one of her, or Bee-Boo and one of her like not Pivots rip off other like girlfriend characters, like went to a club or something like that.
No, this was a scratched episode from season 1.
Yeah.
It was supposed to replace the spider episode because the spider episode kept corrupting.
But we ended up
But,
finishing it, even though it got really corrupted still. But it came out. It's really funny.
But like
Sorry.
4 days before the spider episode was supposed to come out, I wrote up this script called Manly Club for Men, where Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy keep going to this club every day, and Bee-Boo gets jealous, and, like, she has nothing to do. So she goes out and she tries to find this club, and she runs into another person it was basically the exact same thing as Bee-Boo, but she was red, and Bee-Boo's blue.
So garbage.
Yeah. and like they think that the club is a strip club, so they get pissed and they go find out. Like, they find the club finally, but it turns out it's just a golf club, a country club,
Oh, should have been a gay bar.
a gay bar.
Have Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy like right up on a male stripper. You have
Grinding.
Yeah, you have like a shot of his butt, just like how you have an over the shoulder shot of like characters when they're looking at another character. You should have had that same setup, but it's a butt, and he's like twerking, and Stu and Piv-Boy are just right in the front, like, oh, that would have been pretty good. But yeah, I remember that episode that got scrapped really early because you were like, no, the spider one's funny, we'll make it work.
Yeah,
And then-
I didn't want to. Kelsey wrote it, and like I didn't want to scrap it because. What?
Yeah, Kelsey wrote it.
Well, it was her idea, and then we made it into an episode.
Yeah.
She said, "What if there's like a spider that kidnaps Stu?" And I was like, "Oh, that's all right."
Oh, she wrote the spider episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why I didn't want to scrap the spider episode.
Yeah. Now I'm upset. Because
I'm upset.
now I'm upset because that episode is really good. And I'm mad. Well, that's probably just you made it work, you know.
Moving on. I hear lots of noise behind me.
I'm sorry. It was me.
The next one is from Sasha Gardner again. How would you recommend starting a cartoon series? If you're gonna start a cartoon series, you better be like dedicated to doing it.
I think that,
Which means you gotta come up with like everything ahead of time.
yeah.
Write your scripts, do your character designs, all this and that.
Get it all ready so the second that you need to animate it, you can just get right to it.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I can say. I mean, Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 1, we just kind of winged it. But Season 2 was a lot more,
What?
like...
What you need.
Oh, what you need, Spencer.
Good job.
Because the website I use it just has a shit ton of fucking malware now. Didn't
Yeah.
used to have that, but now it fucking just wrecked my computer with it.
Burp, burp. Cut this out, by the way, because neither of us are talking right now.
Okay.
No, I mean it's dead.
No, I know. I'll get to it. We're doing a thing. We're
almost done.
We're still working on the podcast. We're almost done though. But we're gonna cut this up into pieces, so it's like an hour long recording right now. But yeah. Here, Jordan, I'll clap really loud. I am an hour and 30 minutes into my recording of part 2 that I've recorded. So, there's a lot of weird noises. You can sync that to know when to kind of cut that off.
Okay.
I'll be up in a bit to help out with music.
No, I mean my computer is dead.
I will fix it.
No.
I'll be.
Child, it's not even starting on.
I will fix. Is it plugged in?
It's plugged in. This isn't this. I'm not stupid. The malware that attached this computer to the computer today, for some reason, is not even letting the computer start up.
I'll get you malware stuff. Don't worry. I'll deal with it.
But I need it now.
No, piss off. I'm doing a podcast.
Piss off! I need here now.
It's music. Listen to it on your phone.
Yeah, well, it's fucking YouTube. I can't really freaking have that going when I'm at work, dude. It's a hell of a lot easier just to have it downloaded on my phone.
Jordan. Are there any questions you can answer on your own?
It won't take that freaking long.
It'll take me a bit. It'll take like 10 minutes.
Is it a laptop, Stu?
Yes, it is.
Well, just bring it down here.
Okay, bring me the laptop.
God damn it.
Why is he so upset?
Because he wants me to do it, but I'm not downloading his shit-ass music onto my computer. No.
Okay.
Anyway,
you wanna-
where were we? Sorry. Oh,
We finished the
snap
next
things
question.
so you can see. They're little singular lines on my recording, so...
Okay. Next one from Tony Padilla. What motivates you, and how would you advise someone on disciplining and motivating themselves? My desktop background is black with really big text that says you should be working.
Do it!
Just do it!
Do it!
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it!
I don't know. You just have to find the determination to do a project, really. That's about as easy as it gets.
Fuck you.
Okay.
I'm keeping that in. Oh yes, we're at the last few.
Yeah, I'm trying to be clean. Jordan has his moments, but yeah. Anyway, next question.
All right, we're at the last few questions. Probably like 10 more. This one's from Tony Padilla again. I just worked from 10:45 to 7 p.m. and I feel so done with everything. I have a lot to do for my Flash Holes May challenge, but I need to unwind. Advice? Don't worry about it. Is like if you have something going on in animation and you've had a long day at work or you're just not feeling it, just don't worry about it. Don't put yourself through the extra work.
Yeah, if you're trying to do a competition and you can't finish a project, like, that sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it, man. You can't finish everything you want to do. I tried to enter TOFA, but I didn't get through round 2 because I just couldn't finish it,
If you don't finish, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do this for you, not for other people.
Yeah, that's the thing. This kind of goes back to, I don't remember if I said this again, to help with, feeling annoyed and just really done with a lot of stuff, is just, like I said in the previous recording of this, I don't know if it made it into this version, just surround yourself with a lot of stuff that you enjoy, The only way for you, I think, a way that helps people keep their sanity is to just surround yourself with things you like. You know, if there's a franchise you like or a show that your friends say that you might be interested in or have recommended to you, watch it. You know, just sit down. People will hate me for this, but I like Star Wars. All the Star Wars. I don't care.
I love Star Wars.
I don't care. Like, I just enjoy all of it. And that's something that, like, if I'm just sitting around one day and I don't want to work on animation, I'll just watch Star Wars. I don't care. You know, you need to take breaks some days. You know, I enjoy video games. I like old platformers. I like the Paper Mario series. Just play through old games. I'm playing back through Twilight Princess recently. You know, you just gotta surround yourself with things that you enjoy to keep yourself happy. Jobs are, you know, terrible. People work you to the bone and you get no recognition. That just happens, you know? So just finding the things that you enjoy and making sure that you stay diligent with them is a way that you can kind of keep your sanity and not get too depressed. I had a point back in like 2010 where I was like outrageously depressed. It was before we started Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, where I just got like outrageously depressed because I just wasn't doing anything. You know, I just felt like crap. But it just comes down to a point, like, just gotta find things you like them and take part in them. Find other people who like it too and talk to them about it. That's like, you know, drawing. You gotta find artist friends so you can enjoy drawing together or complain about drawing together. You know, that's the
next.
I think that's the best advice I could give somebody. Just surround yourself with things that make you happy, and just whether or not people like it, who cares? You enjoy it, so just enjoy it.
Take a bath.
Dude, that actually helps a lot.
Yes, I know.
Showers, like hot showers, are very relaxing. I have a lot of ideas, and just like sitting there in a hot shower, you know, it kind of, you relax, and it helps ideas and stuff kind of flow. It's like how you'll be laying in bed and have a really good idea for something right before you go to sleep, and then you have to get out of bed and write it down, and then by that time you're already working on it. Yeah. You know?
That's how I was with season 1.
Yeah, like that, when your body relaxes, it opens up a lot of ideas, and just kind of your brain just kind of works on things that, you know, you're so paranoid about making it good and coming up with an idea that your paranoia causes you to just not be able to think. And I found that like hot showers or, you know, trying to go to bed, even if you're not really that tired, if you feel tired, try to go to bed. And your body will think that you are and relax. And that'll help you kind of maybe come up with an idea you didn't have before. And that really helps be creative and have a lot of ideas.
Sorry, I'm stretching. I'm sitting on a piano chair. Because that's all we have in here. Next question comes from Alexander Emmenheiser again. How many cups of water do you drink per day? Is it the recommended amount as administered by the FDA? No, I drink a bunch.
I drink about a gallon of tea every day because I'm from the South. Take that as you will.
The next one's from Alexander again. Are there hats? I don't see any hats right now, so I guess not.
I own an Indiana Jones hat.
Oh, you bastard.
That's about it, though. I don't really like hats. I don't wear too many.
Here we go. Number 69.
Hey!
From Kyle Harner again. Why haven't you closed your channel yet? Ladies first. Right. These are the last two, and then I gotta switch over to Facebook and Twitter because I got a few on there.
All right.
These are from Dan Olson. These last two right here.
Okay.
Favorite/least favorite thing you've produced?
Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy.
Both seasons.
I had to say that.
This is literally mine too. It's my favorite and my least favorite because of how much I went through.
How much good and how much bad came out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy 1. I hate how bad it teetered out towards the end. You know, we lost the Christmas episode. Should we talk about?
I can't believe.
Should we talk about the Christmas episode?
Since
like you're never gonna make it.
It was just They have a coupon to buy the most amazing fruitcake, I think is what it was called.
It was like the world's greatest fruitcake or some garbage like that.
Yeah,
Super climax ultimate fruitcake double decker down.
Double D's.
Like it's just some really stupid thing, but it was like the world's best fruitcake, basically.
Yeah, and they have a coupon for it, so they go. But there's one left. They try to get it, but then Case Boy shows up and he wants it.
Yeah.
And Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy are throwing a party back at the house. Also, people don't know this. People think Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy live together. They don't.
No.
Piv-Boy lives with his mom. And Stu-Boy comes over.
That was never explained.
In episode 1, Mom, somebody's at the door.
Oh, you're right.
Very first episode.
You're
very
right.
first line.
Now I'm stupid.
Stupid boy.
Now I'm stupid.
But yeah, they're throwing a party at Piv-Boy's house.
Yeah.
And they fight over the fruitcake, obviously. They win, obviously. They take the fruitcake back home where there's this party with every character from season 1 so far. And we were also going to throw in some season 2 cameos that you guys wouldn't realize, like Dr. Manta.
Yeah.
But that never got made. It was a good finale. And then I had this idea of where Bibu would talk, but Stu said no.
I don't remember if I said no or Kelsey said no because she didn't want to voice it.
You said no because you said it would break character, which makes sense.
Yeah. Consistency!
She, after, like, the very last line of that episode would have been Bibu screaming, "I saw Piv-Boy and Stu-Boy touch wieners."
Now I remember why I said don't do it.
Yeah, I thought it would be funny.
It's funny in a, oh my god, that's the stupidest thing ever way.
Yeah. Alright, last one from the original list, from Dan Olson again.
Yes.
Most influential web animator for you. Sergio Dominguez from the Sergio Show.
That's not fair.
Well, I mean, the dude's been doing it forever.
He's been doing it for like 10 years and he's never gotten better.
But that's the thing. He's so into it. He's so like it's inspiring.
That scene. Ignorance is bliss, you know? But that scene in the Sergio, I think it was episode 100, when he's surrounded by all the other animators and he just traced all of their artwork.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't watch them. I'm just like, it's inspiring to see someone actually go through with it. And like Sergio,
it's beautiful.
Sergio
is like the most amazing breed of how, why, and
what?
Yeah, because like again, he voices everybody. If he has another animator do anything, he voices everybody. But he'll like trace their artwork so it looks like them, but he voices them. He doesn't even bother getting them on. But everybody knows Sergio, so why would you not say yes? But he doesn't bother asking them. So, and
I messaged him on his birthday. I was like, "Have a happy animated birthday."
Oh my God.
And he said, "Thanks, I'm sleeping." I love him though. He's a really nice guy. But for real though, I think the animator that I look up most influential web animator for me.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about this guy, Harry Partridge. I mean,
Harry, that's a good pick.
yeah, because now he's working with Yada.
Yeah,
and like
barely,
I don't really
if
care
even.
much for his stuff.
He can't afford Yada anymore. He worked.
No, they're working with him.
I know they worked with him on that.
Starbarians.
Yeah,
I think.
Starbarians, but I don't think they're working with him anymore. I don't think he can afford it
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
because he's been saying that like episode 3 is almost done, but he's having to work on it alone because he just can't afford to support Yada because they're so expensive.
Yeah. But back in the day, I looked up to him a lot because his stuff is really good. Like, really good.
Oh, Harry is fantastic. I love Harry.
Harry, and I would say Paul, but I think I look up to Harry a bit more.
Harry is a prime example of someone who came from Newgrounds, who still kept his seal. Harry has a strange addiction to his seal of quality, and he won't leave it no matter what. And I think he's the most respectable animator, I think.
Yeah.
Oni and everybody, they still do all their stuff, but Harry has continued to stay so humble about it. Throughout all the years, no matter what happens to Harry, no matter how much people just rat on him and destroy him for taking so long, his stuff always comes out beautifully, and he always is just so humble about everything. He's so good about taking all the crap that people give him because they think animation takes 5 seconds.
You putting the TI-82 on my freaking computer?
I might as well. He's just... I think he's a standard to look up to for how you should act as an animator.
Yeah.
Because he's so humble all the time, no matter how much people rip into him. Yeah, I think mine would be Harry too.
Yeah.
Harry, I think he's, I don't know, something special about Harry. Visually, I think how he approaches it, how clean his stuff is, Paul is fantastic. Aesthetically, and Harry is too. I don't know. It's such a tight thing for me. It's so hard to pick because I love both of their art so much.
Mm-hmm.
They're both so fantastic.
Why not pick both?
Well, I guess I'll do both. I assumed we were just gonna pick one.
Yeah, but if you have trouble deciding, just pick them both.
Yeah,
It's no big deal.
I'll have to go with both. Harry Partridge and Polterboard.
Well, since I went with Harry, you can go with Paul.
Yeah, I'll go with Paul. That seems fair. But yeah, they're both just so fantastic. Everything they release is always better than their last, which is hard because it always looks so good to begin with.
Yeah.
They outdo themselves, and you wouldn't expect them to. You expect that quality to stay the same, but they continue to outdo themselves.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
No problem. I keep getting questions on Facebook, so now we have an extra 12.
Well, just keep going.
I am. These next 3 are from Mike Gold, and some of you may know him as Wegra Man on Newgrounds. He's all over the place.
Oh?
Yeah, he's all over the forums.
What was that? Hey, quick shout out to someone who's a filthy dirtbag stealing whore. Who was that guy who...
Me?
No, who was that guy who ripped off your Knuckle Blaster stun gun?
Oh god, I don't know.
That's the video I was trying to pull up. I was trying to get that guy's name. Because I commented saying that he stole it from you and he banned my account on Newgrounds. And I was like, ooh!
I'm not worried about it. I could really care less.
No, I was just gonna call out some scumbag.
No, I don't want to call anyone out in the podcast. It's kind of a dick thing
Yo!
to do.
I'm gonna call out everybody!
Lens flares!
I got no one. I got no crappy person I could just call out for being crap.
Oh, I've got tons, but I'm not gonna say a word. Okay, alright. Thanks, Siri. Alright, the first one from Mike Gold. What was the inspiration behind Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy? It was my TOFA entry for 2013, and I wanted to do something silly and fun with Stuart, because we were really close at the time. That's basically it. Oh no, I lost connection to the Stu. Hello.
What?
Hi.
Hello. I was singing opera.
I'll go back and redo this question. My phone put you on hold for some reason.
Oh, interesting. I kept the recording going. I didn't want to stop.
Oh, okay.
So.
From Mike Gold, 3 questions. What was the inspiration behind Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy?
We kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, basically just me and Stu having fun entering a competition. Would you consider making a game out of them? Not a Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy based game, but I'd like to have... I know a guy, his name's Reese510, I think. But, he made a game. Yeah. he made a game, and he asked me for an FLA of Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy's head. And if you go into the game and like in the cheat box you type in Piv or you type in Stu, you get to play as the character wearing a Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy mask.
Whoa, what game is this?
I'll link it to you. What was it called?
Whoa, I want to play this.
I'll find it. But
I'm gonna play as myself.
it was really cute game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I would like to have them in like more of a collab, not something that I would make just for them. Like that Rick and Morty game where you got to find your license or something.
Yeah. Point and click could work. A dating... Dude, I want to make a Nolan and Brian...
A dating sim?
I want to make a Nolan and Brian dating sim so bad. It'd be so funny. It really just depends on what genre we would kind of decide on. Like, I would be super on board to work on a game and help, make a game. But,
yeah.
Like, I would play test it, of course, because I feel like I kind of get how a good game should feel at this point, because I've played classic games for years. Also, hey guys, to shout out a thing that's dead on the internet and that I shouldn't say, hey, Ride to Hell was really good, right? But, yeah, I would be down to make a game. We just need to decide on a way to do it, like what kind of genre, how we should approach it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Next question. Oh shit, I closed out of it. Next question: will there ever be an episode where we'll see Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy's penis? No.
Maybe some artwork on Tumblr, but
some fan art.
Not there. Don't look for this, but there's been gay porn fan art of Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy.
He took it down.
Oh, he did. What a tease. But no. Why?
He has some questions in here, but I'm not gonna mention his name. He's got like 3 questions. Okay, next one from No Stylin'.
No
Again.
Stylin'. Why no?
No Stylin'.
Why?
No Stylin'. No style. It's canceled.
No.
No. If you could tell something about your future self, what would it be and why? Wait, if I could tell...
Was that tell something to your future self or your past self?
Yeah. Tell something to your future self. What would it be and why? Don't make season 2. No, just kidding.
If I had to say past self, stop being such a faggot. And maybe
I'd be like, why didn't you start animating sooner?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
A lot of people who grew up on the internet would have probably said stop being such a faggot to their younger self.
Here's a good one. Oh,
no,
so
I
you
didn't
can
do my future self.
I thought you answered still.
If I had to do my future self, I would probably say, why did you have so many kids? I thought you didn't want any. Because I know it's gonna happen. I can feel it. I know I'm gonna have way more kids than I should. I bet my first kid is gonna be a son too. I'll get really pissed off. Then I'll go back and find out what I did with my life and listen to this podcast, and I'll be like, I hate you, Dad. You never wanted me. And I'm like, why are you a boy?
Okay. This next question's for me. You can put your input on it however you want.
Okay.
But it's for me. From James Bear. James Bear. I'm a bit nervous because I know how you are with this.
Oh. See, you said
Will
that about fingering
BPTV
boy. Wait, what?
Will BPTV ever come back?
BPTV. Is that Buddy and Pivots?
Yeah. You could put your input in. I really don't care.
I don't remember much from Buddy and Pivots.
Okay,
I
good.
know
Thank
of a
God.
thing I can't talk about with Buddy and Pivots that I think should not happen, but I don't have much to say about Buddy and Pivots really.
We rewrote the series in case we do bring it back, and we got Stamper to voice Buddy instead of Buddy voicing Buddy because Buddy doesn't like his voice, and I feel like
we're
Stamper.
just gonna talk about this then.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
And I feel like Stamper fits Buddy better than Buddy himself.
I think you should reapproach the series.
That's what we're doing.
I think you should try to change the story up, maybe give it a different approach. Like I'm sure the series could work, but Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, I think, is the sole successor of that. Like,
yeah,
I think Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy is a better take on Buddy and Pivots.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I completely changed BPTV.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's Buddy and Pivots, it's not Buddy and Pivots. It's about these two brothers. It's kind of sort of like a dark backstory. Their dad left them, so Pivots became successful. Buddy stayed with his mom. Pivots has been working at this TV station for a TV channel for BPTV. That's what the channel is. And he's been working there ever since he could, get a job. And they're old. They're not like 15, 16 like Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, but they're brothers, right?
Yeah.
And so in the pilot redo times 5, you find out that the mom dies, and Buddy brought over her ashes and asked Pivots if he wanted to say anything, blah blah, this and that, and their dad walked out on them when they were babies, so it's basically just been up to their mom. They have a good relationship with their mom, and now she's dead. Yeah. But Piv-Boy never really had a good relationship with anyone, not even Buddy. So Buddy has nowhere to stay because he doesn't have a job, doesn't have a home anymore, no mom, so he has to stay with Pivots. And Pivots offers him a job at the TV station, and near the end of this series, or not the series, if we even do this, we planned out season 1, where the owner of the TV channel ends up dying, and he gives it to Pivots before he dies.
Yeah.
So they own this TV channel, which is where BPTV came from. But what we're doing is we're not going to say their names throughout the whole show. And we're not going to say what BPTV stands for. It's all going to be this whole mystery thing. But, that's what we're trying to go at. Two brothers owning a TV station. It's just two brothers. Which I think is more original than a guy trying to live with another guy.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we're going to go with it.
Again, I think...
It sounds interesting enough.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I think you could work it well. But the thing about it, again, is I don't know, I feel Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy is the sole successor to that, in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's a better approach at it. You could, like you just said, you could do it and make it a bit darker. Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy is a bit more lighthearted. And that could be your approach, your re-approach to that. But, I don't know. I think it's a bit too similar,
Yeah, that's my only problem with it. But if I do it, I'm not going to do it like Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy, make all the episodes and release them weekly. I'm going to do this when I want, how I want. Because, Jesus Christ, that was hell. Next one from Ethan Bell. Macromedia or Adobe? Adobe kind of butchered Flash from what I've heard, but I've never really worked with Macromedia, so I don't really have an input on this.
I have Macromedia Flash MX, the one that Paul uses. I just have a copy on my computer, whatever. It's okay. It feels like an early Flash. I like the improvements that Adobe made to it. I like the interface. I like how they structured things, and I like 5.5 a bit more. But my biggest complaint about MX, other than it's annoying to learn how to adjust gradients, they made adjusting gradients really easy. They made it easy. Adobe made Flash a lot easier to learn. I'm sure if you know MX, but if you work in 5 and go to MX, you can see where things are that are similar, but they're so much different in Adobe's version. Adobe Flash is very broken, but I know we had a lot of problems with it in Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy Season 1, but I've never really had big issues with Flash.
Neither have I.
In any things that I've been doing recently. You crash and lose 20 minutes, but whatever.
I recently had to switch to CS6 because CS 5.5 would not work. No matter what I would do, it just would not open. Like, I tried uninstalling it, reinstalling it. I tried literally everything you can think of. It took me, like, months to finally just switch.
Yeah.
I didn't animate for a while, which was really kind of depressing. Because you know how I am with animating. It's my thing.
Yeah.
It's my pulse.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood.
Bleh.
Cameron Glenn says, boobs or butts, doesn't matter. Poop comes from both of them.
What?
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 Poop comes from boobs and butts. Don't you know this?
Okay.
Alright.
I'm gonna do a controversial answer to this. I like the face. I could care less what the body is about.
Amen, brother.
I have to look at your face! I could care less if you got big boobs or a big butt. Whatever. I'm gonna stick my wang in the vajay. Everybody's got the same vajay. I don't care. I have to look at your face every day. I have to talk to you. I have to eat with you. I have to go to bed with you. Your face matters. I don't care about your boobs or your butt. Piss off!
Thank you, Stu. I feel the same way about you.
No, that's how I feel about it, though. I don't care. I care about the face.
Zachary John Jones says, do I really need to pay my taxes? Like, really? You probably should, Zach.
You should, to protect yourself from the law, because if you don't, the law coming, but no, taxes are stupid. Yes, you need to pay them. You're obligated to pay them, and you should. They're still stupid.
Tristan Bauer says, what's your favorite and most inspirational animator? We kind of answered this already.
Harry
not long ago.
Partridge.
Harry Partridge and Polterboard.
Harry Partridge.
Miguel Williams says, are you up for doing collabs?
Depends.
I'm not big on collabs. Like, it really depends on who I'm with and what I'm doing at the time.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, Jaxie tried to do that Banjo-Kazooie collab, and it just failed.
Yeah.
I don't think it got made at all. Like, I haven't really tried to look for it too much, but I saved the document to my Google Drive, and I saw it the other day, and I'm like, whoa, I remember this, and I looked into it, and I'm like, whoa, they got so many cool people on. Never happened. Where did that go?
Right.
I don't know. Collabs just kind of, nobody cares anymore, you know?
The last question, finally. It's been forever. From Ivan Almighty. He says, any collaborations planned with anyone? Or anyone you would like to work with? I mean, I have a few ideas here and there with a few friends. Like, me and El Hugany want to make something together. And I know you don't like El Hugany that much. I don't
not like El Hugany. I think El Hugany's a cool guy. What are you talking about?
He's really nice.
I like El Hugany.
You don't like his content, I think.
I liked his little Call of Duty zombie music videos. But,
yeah, those are great.
But I don't care for any of the other music he does. But he's a good content creator. I just don't mind it.
Yeah.
Is my thing.
And me and him plan on doing something soon.
Yeah.
Now that Stu-Boy and Piv-Boy's out the way, he really wants to, work with me on something. And Creed and I plan... Do it! Creed and I plan on doing something too, but that's just an idea. We don't even have
it's very
what we're
up in the
gonna
air.
do yet. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really, for collaborations with anyone.
I collab with me, myself, and I on projects that only I will make and only I will work on because I can't work with other people. Piss off.
This is true. I have hands-down experience on working with Stu. Do not work with this man.
Do you see this man? Do not work with this man.
No, I don't have any plans. Collab, no. Working with and maybe meeting, Polterboard and the entire Sleepy Cabin cast. Like, if I got to hang out with any of those guys for like one day, I think it'd be really... It would mean a lot to me. But I can't, you've hung out with all of them, which really pisses me off. But, I've always wanted to just hang out with those guys. And I've followed all of them for a long time, since the New Ground days. So I have a lot of respect for them. But I can't afford to go to Pico Day, you know, and everybody goes to Pico Day, so.
All right, I guess that's the end of the podcast.
Okay.
I don't know how to end this thing.
So that's the end of the podcast. If you guys stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. If you guys want us to do more of these, you know, we'll keep taking questions. Jordan, I guess delete this one and start a new file thingy for questions. Since we've done this, if you guys want us to take more questions, I guess do you want to do them on YouTube?
I was thinking of just posting them on SoundCloud.
Well, okay.
Especially this one, because this one's really long.
Well, we could break it up. Whatever. Anyway, leave your comments wherever you hear this, wherever Jordan posts it, or message him on Twitter. I don't know what your thing is.
Twitter.
What is your thing?
My Twitter?
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is for everything else.
The I guess it's the Pivots XXD on Twitter. I am Stu-Boy. You could probably figure out how to spell that on Twitter if you want to message me. Don't do that, but you could. Tell me how much of a faggot I am. I'll be expecting it. No, yeah, but if you guys want to send us any questions on, contact Jordan on his Facebook, I guess. Do you have a? Stop it? Do you have a fan page for your Facebook or anything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Well, is all this stuff up on the little banner thing on your YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all the Pivots XXD wherever you go.
Okay. So message Jordan on his Facebook. Message him on his Twitter if you have any questions that you may want in a later episode. Tell Jordan how much you want it so that not only I, but you will force him to make a new one. And if you care, there's no use in doing it because I won't write any down, but I might tweet you back. If you tweet me at Stu-Boy, it exists. If you care, whatever. If you don't, piss off. That's what I have to say about that. Jordan, anything you want to say before we end it?
For the Stu and Piv finale, this is coming out before that. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. Because I don't know what it's going to do to my fans, but I saw what it did to El Hugany and Creed, and now I'm worried.
I guess that's the place to end it.
Alright, so long. 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 Alright, so long.